roots with the Queen Charge Lava Balloon. 3 stars when they needed it most, making sure they are right on the heels of Athelian Esports. If Athelian slip up, Tomp and I are here to take this war.
Oh, Rigo Torres coming in cool as a cucumber. Did you see that pose for him? That's exactly how he came in. He knew he was going to come in with a 3-star with that Queen Charge Lalo, which kind of brings him back to his roots. That's what we know him for.
Yeah, he did that back in 2019, 2020. I remember in 2020 they wanted to diversify a little bit, not use the Queen Charge Lava Balloon. Maybe now they're just flipping it back to that area since people are not quite sure what they will use. But they make sure they catch up any slip up by Athelian Esports and Tomp and I Empire. 99%. That means they can catch percentage pretty easily.
Absolutely. This is a good start now. Strong from Tomp and I, but they need to see the defenses coming in, and I know that Tomp and I can bring in defense. We've seen it. They just need one. Let's see what Shoya can do, though. He's trying to keep the dream alive for Athelian and make that move that Tribe Gaming made earlier today.
He's trying, and interestingly, Shoya said something that is kind of happening in these wars. He said he thinks they will do well and win this because they have the most momentum. And we kind of seen that from Tribe Gaming. We're seeing that early on here. This is his favorite attack strategy. Can he get it to work when it really matters? So far, not ran into any traps or baits or towards this top area. All healers protected. He's actually used the wall breakers to allow the Queen outside of the base and back in towards that town hall.
And beautiful pathing for the Queen here, but we also have the King riding along the opposite side. You can see those open walls that we talked about during the base breakdown, how it can be a little bit tricky. This is a good way to try and funnel your troops in. Make sure that you take down some of the structures along the outskirts so you can build that pathing going in, but you need to leave a little bit of meat so the King can take down this eagle.
He's still got the Stone Slammer, which presumably he wants to use alongside the Dragon Riders, but does he hold on to it a little bit here? I mean, the Queen's got the ability. He should be pretty happy that she's going to get that Town Hall as a minimum, but look at the Royal Champion in the middle, just sneaking in towards that scatter shot to get it down, and she's even going for the multi-target Inferno, although she will not be able to take it down fully.
This is superb, what we're seeing so far. The Stone Slammer coming in, just forcing the Drag Riders along. Queen is just hanging on to that ability for days, and we still have 2 freezes in the back pocket to use, and not too much to worry about. The single would be a good call, but he's got everything swarming through Judo.
Uses the freeze early on to make sure he protects all of the Dragon Riders. Still has the Queen ability. Presumably he's just going to use that to speed up the attack. There's the freeze spell to protect as much as possible. And they have their own dance, just like alternate attacks, celebrating in style. You can see they are in boot camp all together, giving themselves the best opportunity here. And they are taking after their last chance qualifier partners of Tribe Gaming with 3 stars across the board.
This is a powerful start continuing. I can't even say start. We're midway through the attacks for them. They are just going ham right now. I feel like it is the excitement. You know, they're coming in fresh, and this gives them a huge opportunity. Plus, we know that Tomp and I is definitely highly streamed and covered, so it kind of gives them a little bit of an advantage here.
I guess it does from that regard, doesn't it? I mean, Athelian Esports did give away a lot of what they use in the last chance qualifier because they needed to put everything into it. So that was a recent broadcast Tomp and I Empire could look at, but also they used such a variety of methods, such a variety of bases in that last chance qualifier that again it's just very difficult to predict them. And Tomp and I Empire, remember, I mean they're only 1% out of this. So Riak, who is an incredibly experienced player, you might recognize him from the Nova Esports roster last season, transferred across to Tomp and I Empire and diving straight in here with the Yeti Blimp.
And he was one of their star hitters, so this is a nice transfer over for them. Now we have that beautiful blimp that not only sets the funnel for this Queen to move into the scattershot compartment, but does double duty by luring out the CC troops, but the Queen's taking on quite a bit of damage here. Does hold on to the ability, though.
Yeah, I think he was trying to just save under that freeze spell, I guess. I mean, you normally use a freeze and a poison when you have the super minions and the headhunters. Didn't even phase him. I don't know if you've seen the face cam across the right-hand side, but stone faced the whole time, dialed in exactly what you need to be. Now the Archer Queen is nicely going to have the pathing in towards this right-hand side. Hog Riders are something we've not really seen today, Lady B, and these spring traps are crucial when trying to defend this.
They certainly are. Now the Queen will have to start making her way towards this town hall. So we have the jump that's going to help connect this. But I still notice this multi up inside the core of the base. So I'll be curious to see the pathing and placement of the jump, where she can connect it, because he can actually force her along into the multi compartment. But he actually chooses to go straight for the town hall here.
Yeah, just wants to play it safe, I guess, towards that bottom area of the base. And like you said, the multi-target Inferno is interesting, though, because the Hog Riders would be very susceptible in that area. I wonder if he's even sending the Royal Champion. Yeah, looks like he's angling her to maybe help that side trip. I don't think she's going to get that area. So let's just find out.
I'm looking around for Teslas to see if we might have any cropping up also in the core there, which would just be added damage. I do like the use of the King here on the Eagle compartment, which is very nice. Queen making that connection to the Town Hall, swiftly taking it down, and still will be able to reserve this ability so she can safely work her way through.
Early warden ability due to all of the gaps around that area, now hitting the giant bombs, but no heal spells for the Hog Riders right now. I've only just realized that. We've got one of them in towards the multi-target Inferno. He's still got the Queen ability, so he's hoping he can get these defenses down with the Hog Riders so that that Queen ability can be used towards the multi, but the King is actually busted into that area.
Oh, that King, I mean, we talk about 200 IQ move there. That King has the moves all day long, working his way through. 25 seconds left to go, and this one is knocked out of the park. Top and I Empire picking up another 3-star, but they still remain one building behind Aphelion.
They are making sure to keep themselves there, but as long as Aphelion triple out, then they obviously win. Across all of the community tournaments that Aphelion have played recently, they have won 9 out of 10 wars. So an incredible win rate, but obviously they can be defeated. Tompanai Empire had a 13.6 average stars in their qualifier, well en route for that. Is it going to be enough?
I don't know. I mean, when you're this close, it's gotta be, you feel like you can't even be demotivated because you have one building away. You're just hanging on to hope that you will find a defense here. They have to just believe. Let's see what Chalco can do, though. Now, I notice we're seeing a lot more of this with the one Valk.
Yeah.
Since the Yak no longer deals splash damage, we're seeing it a lot more for the King entries to help with any potential skellies. This is something that we saw coming in from alternate attacks just before the World Championships. Starting to see it a lot more. So, a pretty big move here. Let's see how the heroes are able to section off, take on the scatter, and work their way towards the Town Hall.
Well, you've perked my curiosity. I've got my eyes on that right-hand side. Whenever the King is diving in towards a Tier 1 defense, that is a critical one, the scatter shot. You see, the skeletons are there to defend, like you said. Able to just take them down super quick so the King can get in towards that scatter. It has lured the Clan Castle. Barbarians get the scatter shot. And so far looking good, but the Queen needs to loop in towards this Town Hall.
Now, he has set up the funnel. We can see she's got a little bit of meat to work her way in, but she needs to target. She's in the perfect position to get inside this base as the Royal Champion takes a couple more shots and working her way towards the multi. This is some extra value here.
Yeah, just getting bonus damage onto that. He's already got everything he wanted from this side. Archer Queen gets the Town Hall nice and safe, sends in that minion. Why not just start cleaning up as you start the other phase of your attack? And notice a couple of balloons towards that multi-target Inferno. Obviously not enough to get it, but it's all to trap that area. Make sure that any Seeking Air Mines are popped as you seem to protect the Dragon Riders.
We've got a lot of balloons to come in for support. This is a little bit different from what I've actually seen. 14 balloons in the mix to come in for the support, Judo, because we did not have a Queen charge. We had some added value. He did not bring as many Drag Riders and worked his way along the outskirts with a Stone Slammer
Clash of Clans World Championship Finals. Look at how many troops he has left over. Dragon Riders, Balloons, Rocket Balloons, 50 seconds. The Barbarian King, whilst he's one of the best air defenses in the game, he can do nothing here. Athelion Esports not giving Top and I Empire any opportunity of responding after that 99% 2-star.
Choya absolutely celebrating here. Joko celebrating here. He is thrilled to carry Athelion through with perfection so far. This is I'm speechless, Judo. This is incredible.
I mean, you can seed the teams all of you want. Our 7th and 8th seed in this tournament have not missed a 3-star yet. That is what happens when you have to work all season and just about get that golden ticket at the last moment. Athelion Esports, one more 3-star, and they have knocked down the number 2 seed of Top and I Empire.
Oh, this would be a huge legacy for them, coming in for their very first World Championships and knocking down Top and I Empire. We have dark horse teams that we often talk about, and can you even say Athelion is a dark horse knowing their performance?
I don't think so. I mean, they won the last chance qualifier convincingly, didn't they? Continuing that momentum. But we've got Almoal. He was part of that original lineup back in 2019 as well, so he has bags of experience. He is a base builder for Top and I Empire, and he practices up to 3 hours per day typically, so I'm sure he has upped that a lot moving into towards the finals. Interestingly though, I've not seen him use the Queen Charge Hog Riders very much. Tends to be one of those attackers that does like the Queen Charge Lalo.
Yes, and dragons as well. He is definitely an air guy, I would say, so we'll have to see how he handles the ground. Now, I always love the use of these Yeti blimps. We've seen some extra power with the update to them, and it's getting a lot more use now. Easy value to start funneling the Queen into this multi-compartment and shaping up the path to the Town Hall so we can narrow out what the Hogs will need. But we only have that one heal spell, so the Warden ability will need to pick up some huge value, likely near where we have the Scattershot and the Royal Champion.
Yeah, obviously hoping to get big value from the Archer Queen, committing a lot of spells. Notice he used a Wall Breaker a little bit earlier to open up the compartment on the right. That was so that the final Super Wall Breaker did open up access to the Town Hall. Perfect timing on that freeze spell to allow the single to burn up just a little bit, but then freeze it and make sure to reset it. Queen takes it down. She's now on the Town Hall. Doesn't even need to use her ability here.
Does not. Now we see that Warden clipping the Headhunters in because we come right towards the Scattershot, right towards the Royal Champion. We need the Headhunters to take her down. The Hogs secure it, and we have this heal we're reserving for the splash area over the Wizard Tower, leading the Hogs in to ensure they are healed up. Because dead Hogs won't do you any good, you know.
The placement was perfect timing as well, exactly as the Eagle Artillery fire came down. Oh my word, do not let anybody tell you that Hogs are not in the meta. This base is crushed. Top and I Empire keep their hopes held high with another 3-star out of 4 attacks. They've only missed one of them, which is a 99% 2-star, and yet they trail in this war.
I feel like that's a disappointment that we're seeing on Amwal in space here, knowing that as hard as they're pushing, they are still one building away, which is devastating. They are so close to taking down a massive team here. Athelion, though, just will not let up.
They are just keep going, aren't they? I mean, when we talk to all of the teams, they all say that they've been preparing for bases. So, Top and I Empire, they told us, just like every other team, they have been working tirelessly to build their bases. They've just got to have confidence in getting the defense here, because remember, 99% is about as good as it gets. I mean, it is, without getting the 3-star, so the only way that they could not win on percentage is if Athelion get the 99, Top and I 3-star, and it goes down to attack time.
Yeah. And we we would not see that. Surely we wouldn't see that coming in. But let's see, we got Kazuma. Again, look, we've got the Valkyrie here. We know this can really help out of those sticky situations. It came into good use, but this could be for the perfect. And I notice 5 of those invisibility spells, so we should be coming in with a blizzard.
Blizzard Dragons. Interesting. First one we have seen today, and the Battle Glint is popped pretty early. There is a giant bomb, but the wizards will be able to get through that. Another giant bomb will actually wipe them out, and the Eagle Artillery stands in this area. What an amazing start for Rigatores on defense.
Oh, this is a defense they've been waiting for. This means he needs to invest some additional units to take it out. Sends in balloons. But this is something that could have been of big importance for the Dragons, because they pick up the traps along the way.
They do. They help to get the defenses down fast, but like you said, are pivotal in any of the Seeking air mines. So there's not a lot more he can do but stick to the current plan, using the Super Warbreaker for the Archer Queen to get in towards the Town Hall. We can see that that will work nicely with the Barbarian King across to the left. Will shape up pathing beautifully for this right-hand side. But is it just going to be too much damage for the Dragons? Uses 1 balloon, obviously, to test, but that is it!
Yeah, that 1 balloon, unfortunately not enough for these Dragons. Early Warden ability will help get them through the Queen, the scatter shot, but not long enough, and we have the spread out of the multis. Now, while it doesn't do as much damage as a single, it does spread the beams out, and while the Dragons are distracted, that's where it can pick up that value when you place storages in front of it. Pathing is not going the way he wants, and we were not able to take down the scatter shot in the back end compartment. This is looking like it's done for Kazuma.
It certainly looks that way, doesn't it? I think that Super Wallbreaker was meant for the King over there as well, so completely missing that area. He's still got a lot of Dragons at the moment, but needs to get through this multi where traps are just popping up left, right, and center. I just said he's got a lot of Dragons, and they are gone, just like that. This is what Tompanai Empire needed. Tell you what, Lady B,
he's got 1
this
invisibility.
Is close.
Yeah, this has got 1 invisibility left. He had
on defense.
3. Gets a Royal Champion in here, going for the percent, trying to pick up as much as possible. Judo, there is no way we would see that 99% here. Dragon still going, Warden along.
You can't use the Headhunter for cleanup because the Barbarian King is still alive. I can't believe how much he has been able to fix this attack. 95%. The battle timer ticking away though. Wait a minute, Tompanai Empire had 99. We're on 98. We've still got a few seconds. 99, and he is doing it. 3 stars for Rebellion Esports to win the war against all odds.
This is completely unexpected to lose that value from the start, Judo, and be able to turn this around. Valiant is just showing that they are the team to watch out for. This World Championship, I think, has found some new leaders in the mix.
Tribe Gaming and Valiant Esports, perfect war, the number 7 and 8 seed, and we've got ATN Tompanai Empire, 2 teams that everybody would have had as their favourites. They're in the lower bracket already. I don't know what to say. This is incredible. Exactly what we wanted to see from the finals.
Yeah, they have proven why they belong here. Despite not making it through the qualifiers, they had to fight harder, they had to fight stronger, and they have done that here today. Michael, though, unfortunately knowing that 1 building difference, I feel like their hopes must have been so up here.
You can see the expression on his face. He is, I mean, how must you feel? Such a good performance. Now he's had to turn buildings invisible to send the Archqueen in. Obviously with the wall breaker, looked like he wanted the Queen to go in that area. He's managed to get her to the Town Hall. And I don't know if you remember, but Michael DP was often given the nickname Michael OP back in the day because his Queen charges really are next level.
They certainly are, and we can see the mastery of it, as you pointed out, with keeping that Queen focused on with the invisibility spell. Now, the Queen has to contend with the CC troops, but while that's going, we send in the King to keep everything moving, picking up the funnel, and taking out the scatter shot.
Again, much like you said earlier on, protecting that tier 1 defense by the scatter shot at the bottom of the base. We have Tesla and we have the skeleton traps as well to try and slow down that King, make sure he doesn't get it. But obviously in this situation, Royal Champion is there as well. We've got the Stone Slammer moving on in towards that single target Inferno. This helps to take everything out on the right hand side of the base and send the Queen back out through the wall break that he made initially.
Interesting, because that's going to force her up along towards the scatter shot. And this is a very interesting approach to bring in the Stone Slammer from that bottom side.
It's the single. He missed that single target Inferno, which is huge for Dragon Riders on the back end of the base. He's going to have to finish up on that, try and save some spells.
And not only that, he's going to have the splash coming right at them from the Wizard Tower ahead. He does have the freezes that he's hanging on to, but the Queen has died out. This, unfortunately, stands no chance here, Judo.
Yeah, the Dragon Riders split up, meaning they just don't have that DPS moving through. There's Seeking Air Mines popping off as well. Give Tompenai Empire a break! Michael DP, unfortunately, not able to get this. I guess the silver lining, can you imagine losing out with a 14-star war and a 99% on your other attack? It's a little bit less painful for them, but still, Athalion Esports, so impressive. People's predictions might be so different after the current matches we've had.
They certainly might be, and this means, Judo, oh my goodness, we get to see ATN going into the bottom, and as you mentioned, Tompenai now, the teams that I think most people were expecting to see, but look at the celebration coming in from Athalion as they make it through into the upper bracket.
They were number 1 in that matchup. That is their celebration. Is it going to be number 1 across this weekend? They have continued their momentum out of the last chance qualifier, and they will be super happy. But the thing about this is, they've been able to prepare against Tompenai Empire. They've known their opponents. Now it gets a little bit more unpredictable as you move through the bracket.
That's actually a really good point, because these teams only know from the start how they're going to deal with their base building. The rest, they have to pretty much speculate, and that means they need to build bases for a wider variety of attacks. And maybe that's not too much of an issue for Athalion, since they seem to be the ones that everyone needs to watch out for with what they are bringing. So that could put a huge advantage in their pocket.
It certainly might. Is the World Championship winning dance going to transform from this to this? Athalion Esports making sure that they're having fun with this as well. They might have just got that golden ticket right at the end, but if you're not having fun, it's going to be harder to grind the amount of hours that you need to put into this. And I have just been super impressed with them over the last couple of weeks. Who knows how far they can go?
By the looks of it, Judo, I would say they can go pretty far if they keep up this momentum. But there's still going to be 2 more days of action for them to have to get through. And let's take a look here. That perfect war, 100% coming in from the last chance qualifying team. Tompenai Empire, though, with beautiful, beautiful push, Judo.
Incredible, and I can't wait to see them battling again tomorrow. But I think what we should do is take a little bit of a closer look at some of the attacks and bases from that war with Carbon Finn at the Telestrator.
Thank you so much, Judo. What a war we had there. Another perfect war. So we're going to take a look at this base, which we kind of calling a new meta. So what they're doing here, I'm going to break this down initially when it's stopped, is using a lightning spell right onto the single target inferno. So let's go ahead and play it, and we will see how this develops. We have to keep our eye on these air defenses. So we have an air defense in the corner on the right. We have another one to the top side and to the left. And as he takes this value down, including with the queen going to grab this bottom one, so he's going to really kind of break this space down in compartments. So the queen, she's going to be responsible for pushing her way into the town hall, and then the king, he's going to be making his way into this scatter shot. So there's the Dragon Riders involved with the Lalo. So as we're going to fast forward through this section, we'll push this king in towards the enemy queen, help take that down, while the queen is able to help step in and make her way towards the town hall area, which is very important. Look at this double poison. Okay, let's go ahead and play it right here. Because of the double poison, able to help grab the super minions and the rocket loons in this section, it's fantastic value. So now, what he can do is send the Dragon Riders for the multi-target Inferno. So that's exactly what he wants to do. The Dragon Riders are supposed to go there. Look at that Royal Champion ability. It took out the top air defense. So as the Warden is going to make his way in towards this side with the Dragon Riders, the Lalo can come over from the left. That is what's going to push its way over the Eagle Artillery here. So we can fast forward and we can see it develop a little bit more. So here goes the Dragon Rider straight into here. And look, he does pull a little bit of traps, but we go and play it right here with the Warden Eternal Tome, gets all that value, and then the Stone Slammer is very important. Notice over on this side, right? This side over here, there is no air defense. So he uses the one Lava Hound to tank on that side while the balloons are going through, and then the Stone Slammer is going to act as another Lava Hound as well. So that is how these balloons were able to push their way through. But that was an attacking side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the defending side from Garuda of Aphelion. They got the perfect war, and we're seeing here on this, we can see the trap, a bunch of giant bombs near the Eagle Artillery on the bottom side, but again, the Town Hall is trapped. It has all of those traps there. It's what you typically want to do, and this was a base that was 99%, and all it takes is the smallest thing to help defend. Yeah, we had another one that was in the 80s, but still, what a performance from Aphelion Esports. We're looking at the red air bombs, and then that single target Inferno was just in range to pick that queen off, and that is really all it takes to make a defense at this high level, especially if you're putting up these perfect wars, coming in with some insane attacks, some unbelievable stuff. I cannot believe Aphelion came from the lower bracket, Tribe Gaming came from the Last Chance qualifiers, both of them, and both of them put up the perfect war. Incredible stuff. So now let's go ahead over to Woody and Judo to break this down even further.
Thanks very much, Carbon Finn. I would like to win perfectly on both offense and defense. Those are the words of Shoya from Aphelion Esports, and boy, did they come true. A perfect war, and would you believe it, Judo? Such an incredible upset. What do you make of it?
What do I say? I mean, the wars have just been incredible. Nobody could have predicted what has happened. But the form that these teams have had moving into the finals, you can tell the amount of preparation they have made.
Well, we have a saying in American football, any given Sunday, any team that shows up can get the win if they are well prepared, and especially if they've got some insight into what their opponents are bringing. I think that definitely holds true here as well for the Clash of Clans World Championship, where upsets have been the order of the day. Let's go ahead and look at the fifth war happening today, though, because if we want to still try to predict for some reason, we will ask you first at home who you think is going to win the war. Judo, how can they vote?
They can use the hashtag ATN or hashtag BAD if they think alternate attacks or Bad Zinger is going to win. All I can say after the matches we've seen is good luck with the prediction.
Yeah, you're going to need it, because I certainly have needed it too. But with that out of the way, let's focus next on war number 4, which is coming up. We asked our casters which of these two next teams they thought would take the win, And hey, once again, it was unanimous. All 4 of our casters in the war between Queen Walkers and Vatang picked the side of the Queen Walkers. What do you make of that unanimity?
I think the Queen Walkers is the obvious pick. Vatang were super impressive in that 6th qualifier. But how can you bet against the Queen Walkers? They're always so well prepared with bases, and we know they can attack with pretty much anything.
And with Klaus, one of the Queen Walkers, being cited by many commentators as one of the best, if not the best, Clash of Clans player in the entire world, we can expect big offense and super strong defenses from them as well. But really, don't count out Vatang. This is a squad that has been in the Clash of Clans esports world for a very long time. They're going to have a great show for us. Let's get into it right now. Casters, take it away.
Thank you, Woody. And yeah, I feel like after, well, those predictions so far, I don't know if it's good that we all predicted Queen Walkers, because so far most of those predictions went really quickly downhill. So, yeah, let's hope that it's going to be better.
Yeah, that's, I think we've got the caster curse going on, especially when we are unanimous in the voting. That it seems to be a big problem here, but as Woody said, it's anyone's war, any given Sunday. You know, we can see anyone winning, and Aphelion proved that in the last matchup. Now, Vatang is a team that is definitely known for their strong defenses, so we're going to have to see if the offense can really match for them and push along against the Queen Walkers, seasoned veterans for the World Championships, as they're the Vice World Champions. But Vatang here, you know, we've seen some phenomenal stuff coming out of them, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right, and they're already around for quite some time, right? I mean, they played over all of those years now in the Clash of Clans esports scene. And one thing which I feel really interesting about is like this different approach based on the regions where those teams are coming from. Like we have so far the setup from the Asian teams that they really like to stick to this attacking order. Like they really have the plan out set. Before the match even started, they have their plan, and none other Queen Walkers as well. The Japanese powerhouse, as we already mentioned, highlighted from a lot of YouTubers because their attacks are so unique. So Queen Walkers are coming in with their familiar roster. I think we all know those guys right there. Yuta, Klaus, Gaku, Sadra, and Stars with their incredible hits, which are always amazing. All of you guys, all of the viewers.
Yeah, this is a war that you were most interested in seeing for today, and I know it's going to be a heated matchup, especially since what we've seen so far has been non-stop action and tons of surprises, cutting it down to the wire. I really anticipate seeing the same. What would you think that we're going to see in this war?
I don't know if I should predict, because so far I'm 0 out of 3, so I don't know if I'm the right one to ask, but I'm just hoping for amazing match, because so far we have seen an incredible amount of numbers of 3-stars, because like, going into this event, you would argue defense has a pretty good shot. A lot of people said it's a really solid meta, where the base spitters can have some great impact, and yes, we saw some defenses, but even few of them are like 99%, so they got really close. So really looking forward what type of match this is going to be. High scoring, or maybe a little bit lower. This might be one of our first ones of the days. Queen Walkers versus Vatang. And this is going to go down to the last attack, hopefully.
You know, I've seen some questions out there wondering what we might expect to see from Klaus. You know, he's the one that everybody, when we're watching Queen Walkers, he's the most talked about attacker. And of course, we got to see the Carbon's Challenge War, which is actually pretty interesting here, because we got to see some unique attacks coming in. Though I think Klaus would probably stay relatively safe. But looking at her stats here, we can see Queen Walkers taking the advantage overall on attack and star count, but Vatang actually not too far off here, too.
Yeah, those two teams are really close. I mean, so far in general, those matches were all pretty close, right? Like, so every single match was always coming down to the last few attacks. None of those matches, none of those teams are really far from each other, so we're not expecting anything less. Even though we have now talked about so much about Queen Walkers, Vatang, powerhouse, as I said already, around in this competitive scene for so long. This means they know how to handle pressure, they know how to come up versus those, I mean, you have to say it, right? Like, they're for sure the underdog in this one, and Queen Walkers being the favorite.
Yeah, we say the underdogs, but not by much. The percentage shows it, and their long-standing history in the competitive community. They are a team always to watch out for and super feared. I think what we're going to have to see from them is if they can find the right defenses to go up against Queen Walkers, which I do think is difficult, knowing that Queen Walkers is very versatile. They are a lineup that has, they know exactly what they're going to go in with a couple of switch hitters, but having a P.E.K.K.A Smash attacker, having solid Lalo attackers here really works in their favor.
Yeah, that's right. You say versatile. I mean, they pretty much stick to their strategies, but at the same time, they're versatile in how they use them. I mean, I know from last year, they finished on the second seed, but it was largely the same story. Like, everyone knew what they would do, but no one could defend it, and that was the big problem. So let's see if they can make it again, make it work again this year, and we should get into the match really soon, any second, hopefully.
I think they're maybe trying to wake up Yuta, make sure that he's ready to go, and, get into the action, but probably just tying up some loose ends, making sure they're all prepped and set, and this is going to be a pretty good war to come. This is the one that I think many people are waiting for, considering we, of course, will have Klaus, but I expect to see him hitting fourth unless they're going to throw a little bit of a mix-up.
Yeah, we have the first attack now in. Jangvi is in for the tank, and he's starting things off with an attack strategy which we have seen now quite a bit recently in this last chance qualifier. Tried Gaming bringing this strategy kind of back into the mix, and were really successful in their last chance qualifier, coming in with the Queen Charge Hydra. It's a bit different to the Queen Charge Dragon Riders, where you mix in some dragons, and this is actually the big difference, because you're not entering at the Town Hall. Instead, you have the Town Hall on the far back end, so it's sometimes a bit of a risky move, but what you want to get is get that Queen near the core and make sure that she's getting as much value as possible. And so far, this Queen Charge is looking really good because, so far there were no black balls.
Yeah, and we can see the radius of that multi-targeting Inferno. We do have to be very mindful for those healers because you want to keep that Queen going. So this is the exact point where Jangvi sets in the dragons to pick it up, spread out those beams, and force that Queen along right there into the center, as you mentioned. King slightly delayed down to the bottom side of the base, and we do have a...
No, the Queen! The Queen died in her ability. She got shot at by the defending Queen and the King, and a giant bomb came up. This is worst case, and now we have the blimp flying across the entire base. She has to, this blimp has to make it. There is no plan B. There is super minions inside. There's not the tornado trap. I watched that's the tornado trap. Lin is getting pushed into the Town Hall, and this means this Town Hall should maybe fall, depending on what is inside that blimp. And there are the sneaky goblins working on the Town Hall, and the Town Hall's going down. Second star is secure.
Oh, that sweeper actually doing some favors for Jangvi, pushing the blimp right over to the Town Hall radius and keeping it safe and secured. But the problem is the formation has not worked. We need to see the dragons working their way through, and the blimp, probably picked up most of those traps in there, but we see a lot of thinning out. That Royal Champion, the last saving grace, but she needs to hang on to this ability and the freeze to get through the back-end splash damage from the Wizard Tower and Scattershot.
Yeah, but that King right now is tanking perfectly. Now it's depending on the defending Royal Champion. Can the defending Royal Champion go down? Yes, indeed. One more freeze. There we go. But the Royal Champion is not going for that scatter. And with this, it seems like this is the first defense in this matchup. Jangvi losing his Queen early. And there's two Arch Towers in the back end. I don't think that this Dragon Rider can somehow overcome this. Now it's all about collecting those percentages, because we saw already now a couple of times already today that those percentages not only can win wars, but as well putting a lot of pressure. I mean, this is the big event all of those teams are working towards in this year, so there's so much pressure on the line. All of those teams, all of those players want to perform on this stage and make sure that the team is getting as far as possible.
and percentage will be in a reasonable range here for Zhang V, as the Electro Owl has done a lot of work. We won't quite hit that 90% mark that he would have felt more comfortable with, but you know what? Considering that the Queen died out before getting the true value that was intended, this was a beautiful recovery, and we are seeing a lot of that today. These are the best of the best players, and when things go wrong, they certainly know how to handle it.
That's right, they know for sure how to save those attacks. I mean, those teams those players are here for a reason. They know how to handle the pressure. They know how to maybe take some risk like this blimp where we are freaking out. And I don't know if we would have done that, but yeah, Stoneface Cole going in there and making sure that this blimp is actually reaching the target, which is the Town Hall. But now we have the first attack now for the Queen Walkers coming in, and we all know their attack order, right? Like they're in every video, we know it's going to be Stadra or Gaku coming in first, depending on their strategy, which they're coming in with. So let's see and wait what strategy is going to be, and it is Gaku with his Inferno Dragons. A couple of Rocket Dunes for some pathing purposes, and this base looks incredibly interesting with the 2 scatters and those 2 defending air heroes close by. With those Rocket Dunes, it's going really quickly into those air defense.
And so we start from the northern side of the base here. Now we do really need to start sectioning off this funnel. We do not want those Inferno Drugs coming near the radius of the Town Hall, so we will sail the blimp through, trying to open up the path and clearing out those defenses to take a much more safe approach, and this has worked out nicely. Great timing on the blimp to get to the Town Hall, and it will force everything along the outlying L-shaped circle.
That's right. Meanwhile, we have the Queen and the King pushing everything through the core, which is exactly what you want to have. Meanwhile, though, the Loons and those Dragon Rides behind the Town Hall are triggering a lot of red bombs. Those red bombs are crucial to trigger because your Inferno Dragons, well, they have not too many hit points, which sometimes could be a big problem, especially if you're facing 2 multi-Inferno Towers in the core. Skeleton Spell is getting used to tempo that Queen. Help that King at the bottom side. There's a lot of giant bombs and offensive and defensive skeleton traps. The Inferno Dragons at the top that are pushing and closing on the back end Queen, but the Scatter is now getting in range as well.
And so Queen hanging on to this ability, still in great health with the Unicorn keeping her alive and well. This Royal Champ is going to be the savior here, though. Is she really needed much as the Inferno Drags just cruise their way through that scatter shot? Itsu, Gaku is off to a raring start here for Queen Walkers. And you know what? We are going to get to see some swag to boot. They are here. They are ready to go.
That's right. Gaku is showing off. And actually, big shout out, by the way, to our stats master. Who on Twitter always is posting all of those nice stats for us. And Gaku is actually the secret carry of Queen Walkers, having the highest hit rate. So, big shout out to you, Chase Days.
Yeah, Gaku, definitely a strong starting leader for the team here, and that really can make a difference. You know, when we talk about the positioning of the players, this does play into their strategy quite a bit, and I know, having spoken to Queen Walkers, it's something they don't actually want to fully reveal why they have this order, but I think at a basic component, we know it just works in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, so far it has worked pretty well in their last matches, always having really good hit rates across the board, but as already mentioned earlier, it's something like a regional thing. I mean, we have 4 European teams in this finals event and 4 Asian teams, and they're really different in the setup. We have, for the Asian teams, really structured attacking orders. On the European teams, they are all mixed up. Like, anyone can attack first, and now we have the next attack for the tank coming in. It's going to be another air attack. So far, they're really light. I mean, not only they're strong, but as well, they're kind of quickly planned, which then gives you more time to your teammates. Because remember, your planning time is around about 8 minutes for those proteins. So if you're at home and saying, like, those attacks are not looking that good, well, they only have 8 minutes to plan, and that's pretty much it. So this means those strategies are giving you some time, and we're going in hard with those dragons.
I really like this opener with the Zapway combination, the Rocket Loons, and the Drag Rider to clear out that Eagle compartment, setting up the pathing and taking on a huge component. No longer worrying about the Eagle firing away. We can sail the blimp straight through this Warden ability to the Town Hall and keep these heroes nice and safe to work their way for some cleanup on the backside.
That's right, the blimp is reaching its target, which is their town hall, and there's the clone. So many loons are getting cloned, and the back end of all of those expos are going down, and another important factor is all of those traps are getting triggered. But wait a second, Lady B, there's a lot of dragons and dragon riders are dying out, so there's still quite a bit of back end with the expo, with the defending world champion, and this. Oh, and the defense is ground setting as well. This is going to be tricky.
Look at the timing of the king ability. Takes the focus of that expo off the approaching royal champion, gives her even more opportunity to work through getting inside this base, and with this PSW is able to secure a 3-star for Vatang, which is much needed considering Queen Walker's start here. This is starting to heat up. This is exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, that's true. Those back-end rocket loons were a big game changer right there. Being able to direct his royal champion and obviously the dragon riders which were alive into this last scatter shot to just overwhelm it. I mean, the scatter shot can only shoot into one direction, right? So, like, it cannot shoot everything, even though it's really powerful and devastating, but it can't take down every unit at once. So, really good attack right there. And both teams are showing off that air right now is still incredibly strong, even though we had Inferno Dragon nerf and Dragon Rider nerf just recently. And still, both teams are having great success with that strategy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to phase certain players because this is it seems like it's in their DNA. It's lined up. They are using this non-stop, and that does speak to the way the teams go about their strategy. We talked about that particularly with Queen Walkers, knowing they have that versatility and they have certain attack strategies that they tend to lean towards. And speaking of, we've got Sadra, the resident ground hitter for Queen Walkers who are coming in. I know you're happy. The super wishes it to.
Yeah, I mean, Super Witches are always great to see it. This is like his thing, those smash type of attacks, P.E.K.K.A. smash, super bowlers are a thing right now as well in the meta, and he is going for those super witches. Apparently he saw some nice lightning value because this is what you're going for with this strategy. You really like to take down a huge part of the base and then create some sort of pathing, because take a look at that. He's going to enter this air defense at the top left, going to the scatter with the second wall break. He has 2 wall breaks with him, and then going to jump into the multi-burn tower. This so far is looking really good pathing-wise. So let's see if everything is going to work, and he gets those wall breakers right to make sure those super witches are going exactly where they're supposed to be. And one thing we have to mention is the time, Lady B. 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and those super witches are getting started.
Oh, this is nice and fast, and that's why I like the lightning spell combination. We're seeing that to help force easier pushes coming in with these smash style attacks. I love the pathing because we can see direct path for the splash coming in, head on, straight jump across, and eliminating that additional Inferno really helps out for these healers.
Yeah, and maybe the tank actually predicted this ground attack because we have the triple Ice Golem Clan Castle coming out. This Clan Castle, yeah, will take some time until those troops can move again because it's ice time for them. A lot of Ice Golems right there, having some fun, freezing those attacking units, and now it's keep going because they're going to go into the core, keep diving forward. The Town Hall is pretty much the last bidding on this one, so he needs to concentrate and use those spells correctly.
Yeah, and you know, he had that rearing start, which I think helps him out quite a bit, but what I want to point out is the position of that siege barracks. So Wave was able to come in with the Hogs. Unfortunately, they die out a bit too early, but they were on that direct route for the scatter shot, which actually did distract it slightly. The Royal Champion will be able to pick it off, but let's see what we have left over here to get through the Town Hall and take care of the cleanup. We still have plenty of the time on the clock here with 57 seconds left.
Yeah, that's right. The Expo has to go down. Take a look at that. So many defensive traps, air traps on that right side. Making sure this loon is not getting anywhere. So now this one Expo which the Royal Champion was not able to take down, is taking down the healers, is taking down the HP of his troops, and this is going to be close. 40 seconds left, we know on the back end. Those super witches are so slow, and they're dying out with that Queen ability. But I don't think this Expo is going to fall. It seems like this one Expo might be the MVP for Div. Might be the difference maker for the tank.
Oh, this Royal Champion, unfortunately not able to clear out that compartment on her own, so that's really where we needed the Hawks to shine, and while they were able to get right in there, right for the target, just too much oncoming damage for them. The timing just not right, but the freeze trying to keep the Queen in this so Queen Walkers can get the percentage nice and high, and this will carry them above Vatang on 1% here, but tying up in stars.
That's right. I mean, it's only the first 2 attacks so far, but it's already really close. This is, I don't know why, but this is always a thing for those pro teams. I mean, it always seems like those teams are like talking to each other like, hey, I'm doing a 31, you should do a 12. It's always so close, like every single time. And this is hopefully not going to be any difference for those 2 teams, because so far they are completely even on stars. 5-5 after the first 2 attacks. And the tank has to hit next. So Queen Walkers always can react, always has the possibility of knowing what they need in their next attack and what they have to top or not.
Yeah, so this could put some pressure on Queen Walkers potentially if we see that 3-star coming in as well, but it'll help try and sit Vatang a little bit more comfortably into the mix. And I mean, you know, if you wanted to see a show today, you were certainly going to get to see it, but Urek we have coming in with the hybrid.
Oh, Queen Charge Hybrid, okay. There's a couple of things right now with Queen Charge Hybrid where... Wait a second. The healers. Please use your healers. Healers, please? No. What is happening? Is he really trying to intentionally delay the healers? Because if that... Okay, he delayed the healers. Okay, all good. I mean, the Queen has not used her ability whatsoever. There wasn't too much damage. And this Unicorn. This Unicorn is so incredibly powerful. He tries to lure out the Clankers with this one Hog Rider. And it's working. And it's another... I guess it's 3 Ice Golems, because 2 Ice Golems were already getting lured. And now it's all about getting this last Ice Golem out of this clan castle.
Oh, that rage just coming down to get the Queen healed up. And now we know this is going to stall her quite a bit. But she's in a pretty safe spot with only the 1 Expo coming for her. So she just needs to work her way through. But with Hybrid, we can often see this time fail. So this could really mess things up for Urek.
Yeah, that's right. But it seems like he already took down everything what he wants to. Because this is the strange thing with Hybrid. If you take down the Town Hall, if you can do up the Clan Castle and take that out, obviously, as well, you're looking already good. Then you already got nearly everything what you have to get. Creating that pathing, obviously, as well. I guess he's going to start from the top side, or maybe he's going to wait for something else. There's the Nether Trap out of the picture already. And there we go, with the hype from the top side. 1 minute 30 left. So he needs to hurry up right there.
He does, but we Ooh, we do have the Siege Barracks at least to try and help cut the funnel, but they're trying to work inside the base rather than on the outskirts. They will take some additional tank factor here, which is a good thing for what remains. But look at all these spring traps flying these hogs off the board.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Hybrid. If there's so many spring traps, you can't do anything about it. Now the Hybrid is pushing into the core, trying to dive into that multi-infernal tower. The king on the outside is doing a great job. Now it's on the inside actually, taking down the Eagle, taking down the Expos, taking down the defending heroes. And there's this Yeti on the far right side trying to push this king inside this Yeti compartment. The Queen is taking down some more beatings, and maybe this is still looking good because there's still quite a few of miners and Hog Riders left alive.
There are a lot left over here, but we still have the splash damage to the Wizard Tower that the Queen and the Royal Champion are focusing on. One more over to the 430 side of the base as the Royal Champion takes the lead to take it down. Urek able to turn this 1 to the 3-star, despite the Queen getting slightly hung up and the pattern being, I don't know, a little bit different here. That was pretty wide for a hybrid.
Yeah, especially like being a wide entry for the Hybrid. In addition to that, having so many springs, ground skeleton traps, and giant bombs against you, he was managing this perfectly. This is like what we're talking about when we're talking about those players and the level of those players. That's they can make 3-stars work even through bait sometimes. I mean, we all see sometimes people failing really horribly, but this is not what those guys are doing. They are incredible at what they're doing, and this is exactly why they're at this stage of Clash Royals, of this event, which every single team, every single Clasher tried to get to.
And you mentioned this now will kind of put a little bit more pressure on. Queen Walkers know what they have to do. They have to triple. They don't want to slip up here and give that opening an opportunity to Vatang. What I'm waiting to see, though, is if there's going to be more defense for Vatang, because they are certainly known for that, with a strong base building team behind them. Now, Stars, though, coming in, this is exactly what we would expect to see from him, the Lalo, but we're bringing a pretty big tanky golem to come in for the mix, so we can get some big value out of these heroes.
Yeah, there are some invisibility spells, so they can get ready most likely for a blizzard. That's one of his special abilities, you want to say. They're so good with Lalo, but especially with Blizzard Lalo, really, really good. And wait a second, is this going to be Hero Dive in that bottom side with the Warden ability Blimp onto that Clan Castle? Maybe, we're going to see, because he's starting things off. Wait a sec, that invisibility spell? Okay, he's trying to take down the air defense, but I guess he was surprised by those Tesla popping up. Can he take it down? Yes, there we go, air defense is down, but this is already a heavy investment of one invisibility spell and already a couple of loons taking or making this next invisibility spell for the air defense, and there's this Blimp flying into this compartment, making sure that you can reach multi-burn tower, expo, scattershot, defending Royal Champion. What would you want more with the Blizzard?
Look at that beautiful placement into that open zone. And I love the invisibility spell just to redirect the Hound into the path, right there into the core, to protect that Blimp, get it where it needs to go. Now, with the CC Lord, we can take it down, say in a nice spot where the Queen could pick that off with limited damage. Just the Archer Tower right now on her.
Yeah, that's right. And another triple Ice Golem Clan Castle. It really seems like that the tank wanted to make sure that they're using a lot of those Clan Castle setups against this Queen Walker squad. He's now sending in the King from the bottom side, trying to push the Queen towards the top side, which is, well, a really good idea, because he's bringing the next tank where you would normally see maybe the King using, King power, tanking power, getting used for the Queen. In addition, he's now bringing the Green Golem to make sure his Queen is getting down, taking down the Town Hall, but that's still a really long way.
Yeah, the Queen took on a lot of damage from that Archer Tower because of the Ice Golems freezing her up and the Unicorn. But she's able to get that regenerative health now back in action because most of the defenses were distracted, so can work her way into the Town Hall, but needs to hang on to this ability and work these freezes. But he's not. He's not hanging on to these freezes too. He's not using them.
Yeah, he's trying to concentrate on the Lalo right now. So much wood asking, but the Town Hall is going down. That was the crucial part. He has still 3 freezes left. I don't know where he should use them, to be honest, because the Lava Hound's flying across, the Loons are following that Hound, and he has still the Royal Champion with her ability. Another haste, 2 more freezes are left. 30 seconds though, so he needs to make sure that time is not an issue. A lot of those lava pops at the top are already taken down by the Arch Towers and by the air defense. Next freeze is coming in, the first burst minion at the top side. Keep pushing through, using his spells. 20 more seconds, 2 Loons for cleanup are getting saved. Can he make this work? Baby Dragon is working, Owl is working, and this is going to be the next 3 step for Queen Walkers. Star Wars is showing off why he's just so good at the game. The Clan has been in the last building, and this is going to be a 3-star.
Absolutely stunning performance here from Stars, and that was not an easy one with a Queen who really suffered quite a bit. I gotta say, he played that really risky. I was a bit worried. I cannot believe he held on to those freezes, but they did come to his aid in the end there.
That's right, Stars is just so insanely good. I mean, you maybe know that from when attacking on your own. Trying to multitask like this, Lalo is already kind of complicated, you would argue, and then really having the nerves in a situation like this, using the Queen ability, not saving anything at this point actually, not even using a freeze for that Queen. He exactly knew the power of his heroes, and with this, the next 3 stars on the board, and so far still the match stays close. Only a really small percentage lead for Queen Walkers is being the entire difference of this match so far, and we're only around about halfway through.
Yeah, there's still plenty that could turn here for either one of these teams. So Queen Walkers is hanging on. They're hanging on strong here. But, man, you know, we are just seeing non-stop excitement. I think this has been probably one of the most epic world champions so far.
Wow, let's go! Super bonus, that's already cool. Bats, that's already cool. And you see a Lava Hound and a Golem in there, which makes this even more crazy. Okay, so let's try to somehow understand what Div is trying to do, because somehow something is not really working. I mean, as far as I know, bowlers, or super bowlers, are ground. A Lava Hound not. So how is he going to use that? Because so far he's starting off with a Warden Walk, making sure the scatter shot is going to be taken down, and then he's somehow going to push through the base.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere into play with this blimp, perhaps, from where he wants to bring that in. But I think that's the biggest question is where would he use it to bring in that blimp into?
Yeah, maybe for the Town Hall delayed, because right now, if you would use the blimp right now, this means that the clan castle would be lured, which would be a horrible scenario for his warden, because you don't want to have a warden walk into Lava Hound. This takes like, not only one attack, it takes like 3 or 4 attacks until the town is down. So you don't want to do that. Instead, he's now starting off with his queen and already preparing the king push into this multi-inferno tower. There's the golem again. That's kind of cool, to be honest. We're seeing the golem so often again on those pro plays because he's such a good tank if you're not going to go into the single inferno tower, and this inferno tower is set to multi.
So we have this force along, gets those bowlers in. King's going to help continue that push right there into the center of the base, but still, we are hanging on to this hound, hanging on to the blimp. And we are going to get the push across into the center of the base to take this down. So that is going to leave only that one option open here.
Yeah, making sure that this blimp is going to reach the town hall 100%. There is the hound, and there is the blimp coming in. There's a black mine already coming up, but this town hall should go down. Maybe with that blimp, with that NATO trap coming up, the goblins and sneaky goblins are getting spin for a run, but at the same time, there are so many expos on that queen. Queen ability is getting used to take down expos, for the town hall is going down as well with those sneaky goblins. And now it's all about those bats with the Royal Champ. They have to make work, and they're coming in from the top side.
And we still have the Ice Golem to bring to the table and 2 freezes. But we have to worry about the Wizard Tower and the Scatter Shot here.
The poison! The bats are gone!
Oh, these bats are not going to be able to withstand it, so we have to rely on the Royal Champion to try and carry this one through, but the defending heroes are here in the back end. The Queen trying to pick off the Royal Champion, but the Ice Golem freezes at the radius, drops one of the freezes for the Scatter Shot to give her this fighting chance to try and pick this off, but the Skellies are hanging her up.
Oh no, this was such a cool plan. Maybe he should have, like, I don't know, it's multi-time seeing a lot. Time is going to be the deciding factor at the end, but still, it was a really cool plan. But the problem was, I think he used that blimp a little bit too late, because the damage of the Town Hall, I mean, as soon as 50% is getting reached, this Town Hall is going to be activated, and it's firing back. The Town Hall is really, really threatening to your troops, so you want to have the Town Hall down a bit earlier. In addition to that, the poison of that Town Hall took down all of those bats, and with that, there was no power left at the end.
Yeah, this is a tricky play here, unfortunately, but you do have to give him credit. And you know what? The one thing about this is we are in the double elimination. So this isn't over for them. If they don't get the win today, they will be able to have the opportunity to play again tomorrow.
That's right. The second lower bracket match is going to be played tomorrow. We have one more match later today after this one. But first, we have to have a winner on this one because it is still incredibly close. Yeah, we have our percentage and starting for Queen Walker, so they could now get a huge lead in this one. And it's the man, the myth, the legend coming in himself with the Lalo attack.
Now, I do see some Skelly spells here. I'm curious if we're going to see a Skelly donut potentially. But Klaus does a lot of different things. And we often see Skellies as well used to help protect heroes in the mix and provide a little additional tank factor.
Yeah, just take a look at that. He actually used the regular wall breaker to test for spring traps on the bottom side to make sure that the Ice Golem is always like giving him this tanking power and especially this freeze power as the Ice Golem is exploding because there's just so much damage. But the defending King, the Warden, everything is over there. The Warden's not getting froze, but the King, which is giving his own King a great opportunity to take down a lot of this base. Roger coming from the right side. Yes, some clean-up archers, fancy Klaus move right there. And then he needs to Lalo the Town Hall, which is not an easy thing. Because typically you see from a lot of players, they try to take down the Town Hall, because otherwise the Town Hall can be so deadly, especially with possible tornado traps.
Yeah, the way he's actually approaching this is quite interesting because he's come from the long side of the Town Hall, cutting that log launcher across, and no healers in the mix. This is very similar to what we see with that drag bat attack working from opposite sides, but the Queen is hung up here, not going to take the tower.
Klaus missed the Queen ability, which means the defending Queen is staying alive. The defending Wizard Tower is staying alive. And there's a back and test up on. this could be really bad news. The 50% is reached, so the raid spell is making sure that this tower is going down. But at the same time, this defending queen has to go down soon as well. The lava is flying across and taking some traps.
That warden ability timing though, nice. Clipping them through, trying to spare some of those loons past the defending AQ. Hazing them into the scatter shot as slightly distracted from the opposite side. Hazing them out, trying to run past that queen. The headhunter takes her down. But do we have enough to finish this one off? One extra loon here, Itzu, and we do have cleanup around.
We have 3 freezes left. Why didn't we even doubt it? Like, what did we do? We should have already said this is a freeze tower. This on us. We're sorry. But still, Klaus is getting that next freeze tower with 4 swag spells like he usually does. So really good job to him. And this means Queen Walkers is pushing ahead further. Not only a huge percentage lead, but as well the first star lead, which we had so far in this match. And there's the swag. Nicely done on the Clan Castle. This is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, not just this reason, he had the invisibility spell there as well. And, coming into the town hall with your Lalo is always potentially a very risky move. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the queen down, the defending AQ, but he really played his cards right with the timing of that warden ability because he had the headhunter into the mix. So he's a great backup to have, knowing that you might not get those heroes down.
Yeah, really nicely done, making sure he tried to make it more interesting with letting his queen down on purpose. I know that he did that, but yeah, overall a really cool plan, because as we said, you try to get into the head of your opponent, right? Like trying to use strategies which you try typically not to defend, and most of the time you queen charge the town hall, you should send your heroes for the town hall, so a lot of pro teams try to defend the town hall as good as possible. But when you're sending in your heroes on the other side, this means they can get so much value. We just saw it with the lockdown and everything, but now the tank is coming in. Lance Loader is coming in with his famous Queen Charge now. He always is using this strategy, and he's just so good at it typically.
And so the queen will start her approach, but first we're going in with a blimp for the town hall, which means we can pick up some really good value in shaping up the space and not having to worry about that risk of going through the poison bomb, especially since we do have that single targeting inferno right behind it.
Yeah, that's right. And again, the triple ice golden clan cards, it really seems like this is something which the tank prepared for this match. And I mean, so far it has had not too much impact if we're completely fair, but it's always wasting a lot of time. Just take a look at that. Not only freezing everything, but as well slowing down the attack speed of the queen. And this means it's already 40 seconds gone, with only around about 10%, a bit more of 10% gone off the base. So we need to somehow make sure that this queen is going where she's supposed to go. But he has still all of those other heroes not even deployed yet. So, oh no! Ooh. Oh no, the queen walking the wrong direction. The minion at the bottom side was not enough to funnel. And now that Loda really has to somehow come up with a plan B, which for sure was not planned on this one.
No, this means the scatter shots will not be secured going down. Neither will the Royal Champion here, and he's got those 3 headhunters. Those are likely waiting for the defending AQ, which the Queen should hopefully make her pass through, but we also have the BK, who is going to work into that multi-compartment and help assist the Queen.
Yeah, but he needs to be careful with ult. This is so baited. This is so baited with that king. Double skeleton trap is coming up. The Tesla around this entry, around this corner entry to lure out the king again. The king has not even got into the base, and this means it's going to be really hard for the king to take down this multi. And I don't know, not even coming close to that queen. So really good base being so far from Queen Walkers. And this is looking really rough for Zoda.
Yeah, that compartment not going down really hurts this. Though the queen gets the access into the multi-compartment to help push things through, narrow out the pathing for the Lalo. It has a lot to contend with on the back end with a multi, Wizard Tower, air defense, and all of those Teslas to finish off with.
Yeah, I mean, Queen of the Core is now not too bad, to be honest. The Queen has to be used, and hopefully the Queen ability, use that Queen! Oh my goodness, this was so close. Ward ability, meanwhile on the left side to make sure those dudes are pushing in. I mean, this should still work maybe. The backhand Mocha Fertile though, and the time, it's going to be close.
It is 29 seconds left on the clock. We still have the Royal Champion working through, but Her health is dropping down, hanging on to that ability to get into this back-end compartment. This was a sticky situation, but only 14 seconds left in 2.
Oh no, Roachability. Hopefully soon check on the defense, and there we go. 8 seconds. He's dropping everything. Maybe he can make it work. They need that 3-star to stay close to Queen Walkers, and it's only 1 being left, and it goes down. Lance Loda making things work for the tank, and they had to get this 3-star to stay somehow close to Queen Walkers, and that's exactly what they did in this one.
That is not an easy feat when your queen goes in the wrong direction the way she did, and you come up to a baited area. To be able to recover that really speaks loads to what the Tang has done.
And I can only highlight, I know Lance Loda is quite often pushing Legends, and this right now was a prime example why everyone out there, if you want to compete at the highest level, should play in Legends. Things are going wrong. Things are going quite often wrong and not going to plan, as you just have seen in this one attack. But the difference between a good player and an incredible good player at this level, which we're having right now on this event, is that you can save attacks like this. I mean, everything went wrong. Queen wrong direction. King was baited and did, I think he got a cannon. That was pretty good, but except that nothing went down, so really nicely done. And now it's up to Yuta. Can he get the Queen Walkers to the next round, or can he keep the curse of the casters alive?
We will see as we approach with the Queen, delaying those healers, getting the Queen positioned, working her way along, and waiting for a safe passage for those healers to drop, but we still need to get the Coco Loons in place.
I'm not sure right now if this was planned again, that the Queen is going in there, because you never really know how those Queens are stepping around the open compartments, and it seems like right now there's a lot of damage. He needs to invest rage, he needs to invest invisibility spell already quite early on, and he's charging in between of 2 expos. Meanwhile, the Warden's on his Queen, the defending King is on his Queen, so there's a lot of damage on the Queen charge right now, so he has to invest a lot of things. Clan Cast is coming out as well. This might be really bad news right now for Yuta.
This might be. We still have the King. I'm looking over at the scatter shot compartment with the Queen because I noticed we have the scaling spell, but the King actually coming in from the opposite side with the Royal Champion. Queen still on course, clearing out the components, but we need this King to step in place, and the Teslas are pulling him awry. So this means the Royal Champion might lose her cover here.
Oh no, Queen Walkers is relying on this attack to be at least a high percentage 2-star, 88% to win this match. And he needs to keep wall breaking. He has even one more wall break to get even further into the base, and there's another Hound coming out. And he is using one of his last spells, which is like there's only one more rage left in his Queen charge, and he did not really get into the core so far. Maybe he's going to invest another spell into the Royal Champion to get down the multi, but it's not going to be easy.
It is not. A no-spell Lalo is a tough one, especially being the attack you finish off with to try and secure your victory. Queen still hanging on here to the ability, but the final rage goes down as the healers get targeted by the multi. Will this Stone Slammer set her back on course? No, she walks.
She walks, but maybe the Slammer can open up for the Queen for the Town Hall. Maybe this can work, but there's still a multi-Inferno Tower on the back end. Core Inferno Tower still left alive, and this means the other Inferno Tower is not that threatening, but it means there's a lot of traps, a lot of red bombs around there. You saw the loud of the town. The Tornado Trap is keeping those loons around the town of poison. Warden ability is getting used early. Those loons have to get out of the poison. Then those loons have to get out of the poison. Otherwise, this is really a big problem. There's the Dragon Rider trying to stay inside the Inferno Tower. It's going down, and the back-end scanner has to do the entire work. He is crossing the percentage, 88%, 89%. And this means Queen Walker's moving on, but can he still 3-star with this one?
17 seconds left with those loons coming in, the minions working together. Yuta will not only clutch the victory, he gets it with the 3-star. Yet again, we get to see, I would say celebration.
It was expected for them, right? Like, job done, they won, everything is good.
Oh, you know these guys are always calm and collected with those victories. But man, you know, that isn't easy. Again, we see Queens going off course. Queens walking, one would say. And they're still able to turn this one around, Itsu.
It was like every second attack was just adapting on the fly, getting those attacks back on track. We're walking around, no problems for those players. They can just, they need just 30, 20 seconds to plan, like just do Legends style. Most of them obviously pushing Legends then as well. Getting this practice in and making sure they're securing this win. And Queen Walkers, well, they did not fall to the consequence.
No.
We got at least one prediction right. That's already pretty decent, I want to say. This is more than we expected.
Definitely. I was a little bit worried there, thinking that we were going to be to blame here. Knowing that for Queen Walkers, they were certainly the favorite going into it. But as you can see, this is why it is a close match. Coming super tight down to the wire, 14-13. Batang definitely showing up defensively. Unfortunately, not quite enough there.
Yeah, especially Batang, you have to say, they came up with really creative attacks. I remember this Super Boulder, Lava Hound, Golem, Bats, I don't even know how we should call this, but really, really cool attacks as well in there. Some small things went wrong, just making all the difference at the end. So really unfortunate right there for Batang, but they have a second life, right? Like all of those matches, or like the entire bracket, is double elimination, which means all of those teams having a second life moving forward in this tournament.
Yeah, and, we'll get to see most of those tomorrow, but we still have one to watch today.
That's right. There's going to be one more match, and it's not going to be a crazy one. But I think we should take a second look at one important attack, and I think Judah is the best man for that, so let's toss it over.
Thank you, Itsu. What an incredible war it was from the Queen Walkers. So I have a surprise for you. I'll actually break down 2 attacks for you. Firstly, I wanted to start with the one from Gaku. So if we start the replay, the Infernal Dragons is one of those attacks which did get a nerf in the previous update, but notice that he starts the pathing very early on. Up towards the north, he's going to use the heroes down towards the bottom of the base here as well, just making sure that that big pack of Inferno Dragons can move directly into the base here. Now, whilst we always talk about pathing initially, he keeps it throughout the entire raid. So as the Battle Blimp moves forward towards the Town Hall, that is secure. He's had the Warden ability alongside the Inferno Dragons, and notice the heroes that are just continuing to deal with that pathing. So the entire 6 o'clock area is going to be dealt with. We've got the Dragon Riders cutting out the top area of the base, and again, this just allows the Inferno Dragons to continue moving exactly where he wants, through the middle of the base. Notice as well the healing spell right inside that area. Notice there's multi-target Infernos to deal with, so he can protect the Inferno Dragons through. We also have multiple skeleton spells down to the bottom area of the base, which continue to distract the defenses for the heroes. This means that everything moves in conjunction through the middle of the base, through the bottom of the base, and as he moves up towards this top area, he's still got the hero abilities because he was able to just keep everything working in conjunction, protecting each other and the DPS from that. So why don't we take a look at one of the other attacks as well, something completely different. The Inferno Dragons is something you might want to do, but the Blizzard is something that we see every once in a while. So Stars uses the Wizards down to the bottom of the base. Very nice, actually, to take out the air defense. Tries to turn them invisible to catch them due to the Tesla. Has to use a couple of balloons, but this is super important. It looks like one little defense at the bottom, but what he wants is the Lava Hound to track to the air defense, turns it invisible mid-flight so that it turns and goes across to the other air defense. And look at how he has then checked this entire area for the Blizzard. As we mentioned, it's something we see every once in a while, not so much as we used to, but this is where you can get the value if you get it into the right place. Continuing to have these super wizards, just taking out this area, and it does a couple of things. It lures out the Clan Castle troops, massive bonus to be able to pull them across and allow your heroes to take it out, but also he has created fantastic pathing. So the inside of the base is completely gutted, not only getting the value, he can send the Archer Queen up to the left. Meanwhile, he actually decides to send the King and the Royal Champion down to the right. A lot of the time you will keep your heroes together, but Stars got clever with this one. Had to be careful with his Archer Queen in towards the Town Hall though, and hence we have the Golem and even a Giant later on. So perfect prediction on how much tanking he would need to get through towards that Town Hall and allow everything else to just path on through down the bottom of the base. Meanwhile, the Lava Loon can then just deal with the right-hand side of the base and fly right on in after the Town Hall is down and after that 6 o'clock area is completely finished. It means that the Lava Loon has the perfect pathing, and it means that he can preserve the spells for the splash damage in that area. The Royal Champion actually had nice pathing to help with the multi-target Inferno, but the Town Hall is your major threat. Hence why the Archer Queen was pushed into that area, so he didn't have to commit as many spells. We have seen the Rage is needed for the troops to get outside of that Town Hall. So that was just 2 attacks from the Queen Walkers. Why don't we take a look at one of their defenses? This was the biggest defense that we've seen, and it all came down to the Archer Queen getting taken out in this area. You can see the amount of traps there in terms of the Seeking Air Mine. There's a lot of ground-based defenses, but the one thing I want to point out is the 2 heroes together, the King and Queen. Remember that whilst the automatic hero abilities is something that is very important, if you have something like an Archer Queen that can lock on and take her down whilst that ability is being used, then it is good night. And if that Queen had have stayed alive, you can see there's not much left on the base. Really unfortunate, but Queen Walkers were just too strong in this matchup, showing that they are well prepared with their bases, but also with their attacking styles as well. I think what we should do now, though, is have a catch-up with the next match in preparation with Woody and Carpenter.
Thanks very much, Judo Sloth. It is great to be back. Carbon Fin, thanks for joining me here. What an amazing war we just witnessed. It is useless to take measures. Those were the words of the indefatigable Klaus, persisting tirelessly through an incredible match and defending the Queen Walker's position. What do you make of that last war?
That last war was incredible. Couldn't believe the amazing attacks that came through. Queen Walkers just edging it out, showing how strong they are, but it was still incredible, Woody.
Well said, Carbon. Let's take a look at the next war as alternate attacks will go up against Bad Zinger. We have the results from our community predictions and I can report them now. 72% of you voted for alternate attacks as the winner of the next war. 28% tipping toward Bad Zinger. So our number 1 seed going into today, our reigning world champions holding a strong margin of victory in the minds of viewers. Is it possible for them to be eliminated, or will they start their comeback from the lower bracket, Carbon?
I don't think anyone would have predicted alternate attacks to be the first team to be eliminated, and this is potential. But Zinger is trying to make that come true, but it's going to be a fight, and alternate attacks, some incredible stuff we're about to see.
Well, all 4 of our casters on stage once again predicted victory for alternate attacks. We have a big decisive swing from both the stage and the viewers at home in favor of our reigning champions. Despite their mess up in the war against Tribe, they still held their own in a very impressive offense and defense both times. But I don't necessarily know if this is going to be the time that they go out or if it's going to be Bad Zinger. One of them will be eliminated. It's all on the line here. Last thoughts, Carbon?
It's going to be incredible. Like you mentioned, it's all on the line. Cannot wait to see. They can't hold anything back for this match.
All right, well, that is going to be it. Let's send it off to our casters, Itsu and Lady B.
Thank you, Woody. And yeah, it's a really one-sided match. Prediction-wise, I mean, we had this already just before that with the Queen Walkers, but still, that we have seen so many upsets today that even though it might be a one-sided prediction, it does not matter the outcome because it's, never really sure. At the same time, though, what you said, alternate, I don't know if they really performed that well. I mean, they lost to a perfect war, right? Like, they lost 14-15 versus Tribe, so they did really incredible well. So I think it's actually good looking.
It is, and these two teams have faced off quite a bit in the past, including through ESL, mobile. But their secret weapon here is Ramirez, and he's going to be the best Lalo attacker out there. And you and I talked about this earlier. You agree? He might just be the best player in the game right now. So having the secret weapon could work to their advantage, but the whole team needs to be able to come together for it.
Yeah, I think I agree. Rikiris right now is incredible, but the question is, can he lead his team to success with his performance? We have seen a couple of players being kind of shaky on their Benzinger lineup, sadly, in the recently couple of weeks, so it's really depending on them if they can deliver, if they can give Rikiris the possibility of then making sure that he's the strong finisher, which he is. On the other side, we see the lineup of the world champions from 2020.
Yeah, now, equally coming into this one, Mask would have been the secret weapon for ATN, but this being his first World Championships, I feel like we saw the nerves in their first matchup earlier today against Tribe Gaming, unable to get that perfect war to tie up into the mix. But since they've already gone through a match, let's see if Mask can hone in those nerves and help support the rest of the team and lead them to victory. But those two players, Ramirez and Mask, going through ESL Mobile, actually were the MVP players, with both of them having about a 98% hit rate.
That's pretty good. that's pretty good. But he was already saying on Twitter that he felt the pressure. I mean, he felt the pressure joining that team, and you can take a look at the statistics right there. Alternate having a bit of lower average stars and percentage, but at the same time you have to mention that I think the metas where those teams qualified were different, so this is only a direction, because we have a couple of stats obviously from the last couple of matches in this current meta. I think Alten has not lost one match in the last 10 matches where they played in Community League. So they are looking strong coming into this match, but lost their first match. So their match, this tournament for them, for both teams, is on the line. If you lose, you're out. You're out of the most important event of the year for Clash of Clans Esports. So you really want to make your chance count.
This is going to be a tough war, knowing that you could walk away. This means the pressure is building, and I don't know, maybe for a player like Mask, where it is his first time in it, he could start feeling that. And also, you do have players from Benzinger, where this is their first circuit, though we have a couple of the players that have seen the World Championship stage. Of course, Juan, who is part of the Nova team, and indeed, I believe, was also in the World Championships
They both have for sure a lot of experience, and Yuan again is starting things off for Benzinger. He was one of the players which is super crucial to make sure that they're 3-starring, making sure that, well, kind of like the top performing players can just take this last spot and make sure the 3-star is coming in under all of this pressure. So can he make it work? He's choosing the P.E.K.K.A smash. But with the twist to it, he is bringing the bats as well.
Yeah, something that's not quite as common that we see, so we're going to keep an eye on the splash damage on the back end, because that's where he needs to be very careful. Hang on to these freezes, and hang on to the Ice Golem, but the Queen struggling to get her way through, taking on a lot of damage, does keep her under control. We just need to hang on to this ability.
That's right, a lot of skeleton traps right there, making sure that this one walk was most likely more expensive than he was hoping for. There's now the P.E.K.K.A, the Ice Golem, pushing in with those switches surprisingly behind the game, because take a look at their skeleton. That skeleton is like saying, nope, those switches are not going too far. The first switch is already down. This is 12,000 spells without having too much value, unfortunately.
And that's really unfortunate, because we expect those witches to be there, working over the walls where the king can't reach, helping him through. But the king still has his ability to work his way around, take on the Warden Tower in that compartment. And we do have the Force along, away from the Poison Bomb. We just need the Queen to take the jump and get into that core.
Yeah, and all of those troops seem to kind of go into the core, but at the same time getting distracted by those storage at the top side. Now all of those red bombs on the core. This means healers are going down. Now everything is relying on those bats. Can those bats overpower the back end? There's more bats coming in, because so far he used only one with that Roy chip together, but there's the King as well versus the Roy champion.
Ooh, so Ice Golem trying to provide tank, not going to be able to do it for the back end. These freezes need to come down fast, but he does need to reserve, I would say, one for the scatter shot here. He's going to round the corner, hanging on to these.
No! But wait, can the Roy Champion finish things off? Oh, he's already celebrating because he knows there's only one big defense left, which is the scatter. He is showing the face, knowing that he has got this. 35 seconds for overall, around about 10% of the base. This is it. And we said it. The players have to deliver around the curious, and this is exactly what Yuan does. We said he is like one of those veterans in the team, and he needs to lead them when it comes down to experience, motivation, because remember, those players, those teams are under incredible pressure. We have talked about that from us. But those veterans, they have to keep their nerves calm, making sure that they can then perform as well.
And you could see that with that sigh, knowing that it was close, he just exhaled. And you can feel the pressure building. Taking that first spot means you can lead your team to a nice start and advantage, or you can force them at a disadvantage. So Juan helping out Badzinger is now putting this pressure on, and it does. Like, this really matters because it is elimination. You don't get it, you go home.
That's right. I think exactly that smile. I saw this on his face when he freezed out. Really nicely done, leading his team into such an important position, because we saw this earlier. Tribe did this to alternate. They pressured them non-stop with obviously 15 stars, but as well pressured the new player in Mask. But now Ast is in.
Ooh. And Ast is coming in with the Drag Rider bats. I love this strategy. I love seeing it. We saw it popularized by a player named Soam, who did it a lot, quite a bit during the ESL Mobile in the North American division. So what we're doing is we're going to take down the Town Hall with those sneaky goblins. We do need to clear out the path, make sure that we have picked up any traps, taken down storages. We see them right there. He's got enough left to get right in there and take it on.
Yeah, typically 5 of those sneaky goblins can take down the tunnel with that invisibility spell. Invisibility spell placed perfect. That's exactly how we want to place it. Do not make that tunnel invisible, and especially everyone who tried this strategy already knows that if you try to do that at the top side, from the top side, it's way harder than from the bottom side for some reason, like how those paintings are angled. But now he's pushing it. Set up the funnel already. His king, queen, warden, and the long launcher is down, and they're pushing into the space with the hound going down first. Then hopefully pushing even further into the core of the space and taking down splash damage.
And this is relying heavily upon clearing out the core of the base, so we can work on either side with the Drag Riders one end, with the bats on the opposite end, not really wanting to join them together because those bats would be susceptible if they're working in conjunction with the Drag Riders.
Oh no, the king actually broke through the wall, the Golem King showing his power and going into the wrong direction. This means the Scatter and the Royal Champ on the right side are staying alive. You can see his reaction. He's right now thinking, how should I react? What should I do to save this attack? Right now, those Dragon Riders are forcing his heroes further into the base, but the Yak is dead, which means the Queen is going to shoot at walls for quite some time. Those max walls, it takes some time for the Queen to take down. The Royal Champion support not been placed yet. Maybe he can take out the splash damage on the right, and he's trying exactly that.
Yeah, the Queen still has her ability and only taking out damage from the multi, which is not enough to take her down, so she will pick this off. The Royal Champion, though, taking out a lot of heat, solo health, but does manage to keep her alive with holding on to that ability into...
Yeah, but the Headhunter got spring chipped away, and this makes Royal Champ versus Royal Champion not as easy as you might think. The Royal Champion is coming out on offense, and this means it's around about 40 seconds left. He's not really knowing yet what it is going to be, but 30 seconds should be enough to finish off this base. The cannon is going down, the Royal Champion is staying alive, and there we go. This should be a 3-star.
Nice reach for the Queen here for the storage, helping out, and Ast can breathe a sigh of relief, picking up the 3-star start for ATN. I can't say he looks too happy here. I think that was much closer than he expected.
Yeah, especially, I really think they feel the pressure. We have heard now from different players from Alten already that they really feel the pressure because everyone was expecting them to win, right? Like every second player, at least, I would say, we're saying Alten is going to win this World Championship. And they already lost the first match against Tribe. And this is not the position they want to be in. This is giving them so much pressure right now, and you really saw this with the reaction of us. I mean, he really like watched that. Okay, guys, let's get to the next attack. Let's plan out the next attack. Make sure nothing is going wrong, and as well supporting his players, his teammates, to make sure that they are staying collected, staying concentrated, because, as we said, this is the match for those two teams. If they are losing this one, there's no second, like another match. Yeah, we could maybe win this one. That's not in there. And Rikiris, we were talking about it. He is coming in with his Lado. He's bringing a wall record, which we have not seen so far. And he's bringing a lot of ice golems, making sure, a couple of ice golems, to make sure that they're getting this push in from this top side. Is this Queen walking in? That's the big question.
Queen looks like she wants to go to the Teslas, but we have the opening where we could potentially meet up and also pick up the scatter shot as we have the tank provided. So we should still pick up similar value, and the wall wrecker actually cutting across from that northern side of the base here, which should ideally work the Queen into that multi-compartment. That's where we need that Queen back into the 12 o'clock compartment.
Take a look at that. Yeah, it's going left, right, taking down the beatings. With that Royal Champion, the scanner shot is going down. There's the tankers coming out. But those Yetis, can those Yetis take down the Inferno Tower? I think there's an air as well, so this is going to be tricky. And the Inferno Tower is going down. This was so important. We all know those wooden Inferno Towers can be deadly to Lado. And we have again an entry, which is going on the other side of the base, making sure the Town Hall is somewhere where the Lado is. He is bringing a heal spell, so we have not seen that too much today so far with the Lado combination, so he really wants to make sure that this Tower Poison is not as deadly as it usually is.
No, often we see these heals reserved for cores where they're multi-targeting Infernos, but definitely going to need this to help out the loots. Already starting to spread out that cleanup here where we've taken down the defense. A smart move because it could come down to the wire, come down to time, coming in from that backside of the loon. So we have the cleanup all working together on one side.
And there's this delayed ice on, making sure those loons are coming in, but those loons are splitting up so much. The beginning loons were not able to take down the ground expo, and now we're getting into the core. As you said, those heal spells, there are so many traps, and the heal spell has to keep those loons alive. There are the red bombs, there's the heal spell. Can they? Oh, the heal spell? Heal spell is keeping them alive for now. The back end scatter is now the one deciding factor. There's the freeze, perfectly timed, but wait a second, there's the Royal Champion on defense still left alive as well.
Ooh, you know that hound, the ice hound timing was almost too perfect, except the loons were not there to support it. But the warden trying to clutch this one up. The only problem is we have the defending warden tower here.
Taking. Can he maybe someone take this down? The warden's now helping, switching over to the other warden. But no, the lava pups are going down. The owl is not going to make it, and this means it is going to be a 2-star maybe.
Yeah, this is going to be high percent, but you can see the disappointment in Rakira's face. You know, he is the star hitter for Badzinger, and to come to a 96% is not what I think anybody was expecting to see from him, but he's given them a good leg to stand on percentage-wise. 96% 2-star, not a terrible position to be, and I feel like this is going to be a battle between him and Mask today as those top hitters for the team.
Yeah, that is right. Rikiris unfortunately showing some nerves in this one. It did not go as planned. I just think, I think the hero part took down everything he wanted to get. It was just like those first group of loons were not really getting the value he was trying to get, because we saw this loon split around the tunnel, right? Like going to the left, going to the right, and typically, especially with a heal spell, you want to have them staying close together to make this spell work, to make sure that all of your loons are getting healed up again, because it's just so much value, especially if you're committing 2 spell slots into the spell.
And especially coming in towards that wizard tower that remained on the back end, having that for splash is always a good thing. And coming up.
I think this is a good position for him, because Badzinger just failed, so the pressure is less. We all know how good Musk can be, so having less pressure is the exact same thing what he needed. So I think this for him right now might be the perfect spot, the perfect position to attack.
Yeah, knocking out those air sweepers just to help ease up the pathing for these dragons, or for the Hydra, I should say. And we've got a nice quick start with this shaped up. We, of course, will use that blimp to sail through into the Town Hall compartment, but we've got this nice narrow channel that already navigates the push, so we completely avoid any pass-through from those dragons into that poison bomb.
That's right. The vulnerability is getting to us early, so hopefully there's no leadership to make sure this blimp is actually reaching the target, which is the tunnel. There's the rage, making sure the tunnel is going down quickly. Now it's all about with the Zinc Inferno Tower, but so far those dragons are taking their time to push into that Zinc Inferno Tower. It needs to go down. The king is getting used at the top side. The queen as well to push things even further inside.
A couple of dragons actually susceptible and dying out to the poison bomb because of the Tesla that pulled them to the side, but the majority working together. He needs to get this multi down. The heroes can support quite a bit, but there are still a lot of expos here that Max on the back end is going to have to worry about. If he doesn't have the dragons to support this, the heroes will have a tough time.
Yeah, like there's so much point defense on the back end. He has maybe sent the roll. There's now the Lava Hound coming out as well. This is exactly what you want to not happen in this setup. You want to take down the tank as a building to make sure possible ice golems, Lava Hounds are not coming out there. And with having 3 expos on the back end, this is not going to work. And Musk is really falling short today. So far, not with the 3-star. This would need a miracle to make sure that this is 3-star. I don't see this anywhere, even though he has quite a few spells left. But Lady with the multi-burn tower, 2 expos and Scarce alive, no way.
No, and even he's hung on to these spells of rage to keep this royal champion forging her way along so we can extend the push of the freezes a little bit deeper through. But this is not going to get anywhere near that 96% that we saw coming in from Rukira's.
Wait.
No.
I think we called this too soon.
No.
He is already clapping. Maybe the heroes were the difference maker this one. I don't know how.
No.
But somehow he pushed through 40 seconds. The Naval Trap is keeping the back end alive. Okay, maybe he was celebrating too early, and we were right at the end. But still, this is way closer than both of us expected. The Queen is still going, no ability left. So this means time is going to be the difference anyways. So this is all about percentage. This is all about getting more percentage than Betzinger. And I'm not sure if they're going to make it close.
18 seconds, this queen has a lot of work to do. He needs to clear out this entire compartment here to actually pretty much get what he needs, and the queen can't do it in 10 seconds. He will keep it close. The percentage, I will agree, is way higher than I expected to see. That was a good play with what spells he had left over, but the 95%, yeah, it's one building behind, and you can see this pressure really eating away at these two teams.
Let me say, one building can be a huge difference. I know this. One building can be a huge difference, and it can get into your head, because if now Betzinger keep 3-starring, they're going to win whatever alternate is going to do. And this is a position which sometimes is really, really frustrating, because even though, yeah, the difference is not too big. I mean, I have to say that. But at the same time, it feels like, come on, one building, everything is going their way. Can't we have a little bit more luck? Like one building, it can really easy get to your head, and this is exactly what they now have to overcome. I mean, they are the veterans in this one. They won the last World Championship last year and tried to defend their title, and so far they really need to step things up to make sure that they're staying in this match and in the tournament.
Yeah, this is I think quite closer than you or I might have predicted, but certainly than what we saw the community predict. And there you go, Itsu. We've got more super bowlers coming from ND.
Let's go. Yeah, Super Bowlers are so underrated. I remember when Super Bowlers were released, so many people said like, this is way too much housing space. This is way too much housing space. And I don't know if that's going to work. We now have the balloon coming in from the top side, making sure that this eagle is taken down, and he's opening early. This air defense is not going down, and this means the Dragon Rider turn around and taking all the defense.
Taking down the eagle as well here, starting off very nicely, and we have the Warden working as well to pick off the surrounding scattershot area. We want to take down that flank damage. You'll often see this Warden who has a nice long range where we would need to wall break the Queen. You don't have to do that with a Warden because of the 7-tile radius to reach right over those walls. The only thing you have to worry about is a time factor, so you need to get this fast and then get working in and through.
Yeah, that's true. And he's going with a really interesting angle because I would have expected coming from the top left, right? I mean, this would be the common thing. But he's now going completely different and going in from the left side. Are those troops I go? Wait a second. He's using. This is completely different to what you're usually doing with the attack strategy. So let's see how that works. Warden ability to protect versus those rocket dudes. They're really, really deadly. The Queen's on the town of Meanwhile, which is a really big sacrifice to make sure that the town was going down and the priest is getting missed. But the super bowlers, they're not going to the core, at least not all of them. The next range, the next jump is getting used to get further into the base. He has to use the priest, taking down the royal champion. And with this, the defending king. Is it going to be a golden? No. The golden gear defense. Take a look at it's huge. There's such a size difference.
This is some beautiful pathing we're seeing from ND. This was such a smart move. Look at the Queen hanging down there. Little bit of help. He knows. He's got this in the bag. That Queen forcing that ability to help with the cleanup. But honestly, the bowlers, the royal champion, the Warden could get this done without the Queen. ND bringing Badzinger continuously through, hanging on, potentially still by one building. This is going to continue. Pressure applied to ATN, and I think it's going to build the frustration in them.
Yeah, as I said, like, this one building might seem like not too much, but it's like even worse. Like, if it would be like 20%, it's obviously not great either, but like, it is still like mindset-wise not easy. But I just want to highlight this attack. This has to be one of the coolest attacks which we have seen so far today, because yes, the attack strategy might be something which we have already seen, but at the same time, this angle, like, we both were super surprised. I really hope that we might see it later again in the breakdown, but just this specific entry never ever did Alternate expect this, and this was seen with the traps. No Black Mines really versus the healers, no Tesla power against the Warden Orc. The blimp was not really defended at all because no one expected a Dragon Rider Loon blimp from the other side of the base, just creating some funnel. So really, really smart move right there. And there's now the pressure on the line for Yo-Yo. And we know, sometimes we're calling him Lalo.
Lalo 23 indeed. And again, we get to see the repeat of those vows to help out the king. But first, we're going to sail our way into that town hall. Ooh, some tornado traps might throw things off course. But can we get those sneaky goblins in to take down the town hall? And while that goes on, drops in the Zapquake to keep this compartment cleaned up.
It's always surprising me, like, a troop, which you typically just use for farming, sneaky goblins, it's actually one of the most powerful tools you have as a war attacker. So, really, really good use right there from the sneaky goblins from Yo-Yo. And now we have the Queen actually taking down the Lava at the bottom side of the space. There's the poison to make sure the Queen's not taking too much damage. The wall break to make sure the Queen's actually entering. I don't know if that wall break was on the right side, and with so many Tesla popping up, this is going to be a rough ride for that Queen because there's so many traps. I don't know if she's going to go inside for that scatter. Trying to tank with that golem though.
Yeah, so we actually use about to set up the funnel here. I wonder if this is a slight adjustment on the plan with that Ice Golem coming in for the tank, but the Royal Champion has easy reach across. We still want to see her pushing up, I would say, towards that multi. We still have to worry about the damage zone of this space. We want to try and typically eliminate that for pathing in Lala's, and with no heal spell to use, that could be problematic if it does not go down, having to use this Royal Champion so early here.
That's right, the Royal Champion is getting pushed further into the space. The Queen has to use her ability. He took down already a huge part of the space, and especially the sensor form, which made everything but harder. Again, he's getting that down, which is huge value, but the Sweeper is staying up. Now it's all about how good is his Lalo. Lalo is like the most skill-needed strategy in the game, and pros can turn around things really crazy. But is this value enough? There's the haste, there is the trap coming in, and he's investing in freeze and the haste spell for nothing pretty much.
No, this is going to crush this attack. There is no coming back from this. He's handled the Lalo very, very well, but with only one freeze, and we've got so much splash left over, Yo-Yo can't possibly turn this one around into.
I mean, he has no spells left. This X-Bow is devastating, but at the same time, maybe the Warden can finish things off, right? If this X-Bow is going down, there's not too much single target damage to air. If this Warden is falling, the Warden and the Owl are really going directly to the multi-phone tower. 25 seconds. He can still make this work. We were talking about Lalo is always possible, especially if your name is Lalo23. Red bombs are coming up, but it does not matter. It's all about this Warden. It's 12 more seconds. Can those minions, can those pups, can the Warden take it down? Yo-Yo really does not know what is about to happen. 5 more seconds. But it seems like there's too much left alive on the left side. Left side.
Warden!
99! No! This is a time fail. He was nearly able to save things, but just the entry was too well baited with all of those Tesla, all of those skeleton traps. This was such an unfortunate finish, and I mean, what is going on with Alternate? Alternate really struggled today, and it might happen for them to be the end of this tournament.
Yeah, this is a devastating time fail for that, and a beautiful recovery nonetheless. Alternate attacks, definitely not on the performance I think they would even hope for, but certainly I think not what many people expected to see. Badzinger, though, I gotta give them credit because they've definitely found their number here today.
That's for sure. I mean, after the match between Badzinger and Jake Tiger, you were Alternate did not play bad in the first match. They lost 40-50. But Badzinger, with their 12 stars, it wasn't the best performance, but they're really showing up when they had to. We had earlier Judah and Carlton talking about, they were qualifying from the lower bracket, the golden ticket. So they really know how to handle pressure, and Dima is in next. And we see Super Bonus again. Let's go. I'm excited because Super Bonus, that is such a cool troop. Come on, it's really cool to see those boulders throwing their rocks and they're bouncing to the other side of the base.
So let's see what Dima can do here. It's nice that we are seeing a lot more of these in the mix, but I will say Dima still has some pressure applied because we're talking about a 2-building difference, so they're up pretty high, to have this advantage on stars as well. So Warden picking off the Eagle, and again, we get that nice value of his long range, but it is time consuming, but not too much, not a lot really obstructing him.
Yeah, there's the King and the Ice Golem installed, and we know those entries on the corner are typically baited because there's the Scatter and the Royal Champion, which is huge value for Lalo attacks, for example. So we see typically a lot of giant bombs or skeleton traps in this compartment. So far, not too much. The boulders are jumping in, the healers are doing their job of keeping them alive, and there's this Blim, and this Blim is going to go on an adventure because this Blim has to connect to the Town Hall. With those Ice Golems, I don't know if that's going to work because this Blim is going to get frozen as well.
Ooh, taking on some damage along the way, but he held that Warden ability to glimpse through. Look at all the red air bumps, but still makes it in. Rages up those Yetis, and this is actually going to help lead up some more of the surrounding defenses, keeping those bowlers on course.
That is incredible value of this Yeti Blim because not only taking down the Town Hall, the Phone Tower, and even the Expo, so much value right there. The Royal Champion is coming from the top there, and Dima is looking like he would crush this space. Royal Champion from the top with their abilities still left. The King ability just got used. The Queen ability is still not even used. This is looking crushing with another freeze step. He is smiling. He knows he got that. Really nicely done. And Super Bonus, I mean, they are crushing.
They really are. You are seeing the overwhelming, dominating power of Super Bowlers today. I mean, if this doesn't convince anyone out there to use them, I don't know what will.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the high-legend players already know this is the troop which you want to use. It's really underrated, which I think is kind of cool because right now, not only the meta is really you can use pretty much everything, which is not that great for the base builders because you have to defend everything. But another thing which I really enjoyed so far from the entire day and in this match as well, every single team has their own identity when it comes down to these strategies. For example, Tompina, Queen Charge Hog Riders. No other team used Queen Charge Hog Riders, and that's all. Some teams are preferring Queen Charge Dragon Rise, like in the early stages. Some teams are like on the Super Witch hype train. So it's like everywhere, which makes this so exciting because, well, for us exciting because those teams to prepare, it's not easy, and we're seeing that today with those hit rates.
I think it's definitely exciting for all of us because we are seeing so much healthy meta in the mix. You know, we're seeing the variety, we're seeing the incredible attacks, and I mean, we are still seeing some really good base building. You're seeing where these players are getting tripped up, but they are showing their stellar performance and ability to handle a lot of the pressure. Now, we do have Boom coming in, and Boom, you know, he's a very versatile attacker, but often takes that position of taking over the smash attacks.
I mean, I think for this, there's a background story needed, because he's going to ward walk, which takes some time, and he's obviously also playing in the ESM Master Top as well. And there was an interview happening, because this strategy specific did not really have the best hit rate for them. And he was actually saying they are, like, whenever they have a plan for this strategy, they're saying they don't use it because it's not that good hit rate wise. So I'm looking forward to that book. I really hope that you're going to succeed. But maybe they try to trick us. Maybe they try to trick us and make like some false statement to trick those opponents. But the P.E.K.K.A smash is starting in, and he is going to have this blimp flying across the entire base because this blimp needs to connect to take down the tunnel.
Yeah, but what I like about this is we've got the Loons taking the front here, get clipped in that Warden ability to pick up any possible traps here for the healers along the way, coming into the core, helping to navigate the path. And the Town Hall goes down fast. We still need to work our way around to the backside of the base, but the Royal Champion, let's see if she can get everything under control. We still have the bats too.
We still have the bats indeed, but take a look at that Tesla bomb. Every single Tesla is popping up, and he's like, take that, bats, take them out, go at him. And now we have that Queen inside that core. Nice Queen ability. We see, and we know, this Queen can actually die through her abilities versus scatter shots. They're kind of deadly and giving a lot of problems sometimes. But now, that Royal Champion is having a lot of problems versus the ground skeletons, and the bats are diving in with the back end Wizard Tower, but the Ice Golem is taking the freeze onto the Xenophon Tower. He has one more freeze left. Boom! He's coming in, and they need to 3-star, and he's doing that. Xenophon Tower is going down. He knows he did his thing, but at the same time, same reaction as us. They know it is so incredibly close still. They need a fail from Betzinger. Otherwise, Alternate might be out of the competition. There's like this small sign of relief in his face, and then ASAP back to like business because they know they have to deliver in the last attack. They have to hope that their base building team did a good job.
Yeah, they are keeping this 1 star away right now, and 2 buildings. This is so close. It's really all riding on this final attack coming in from Badzinger, but pressure-wise, you're a pro player. How does that feel, knowing that you would have to come in with a triple on the final attack?
Not nice. I mean, that's how easy it is. It's pretty simple. Like, it's a lot of pressure, and it's not easy because those moments you cannot train those. I mean, you can train strategies, you can train attacks, you can prepare base building wise, but you cannot really train those high pressure moments because even though community leagues, they're great, and it's really cool that there are so many out there, but at the same time, it's not the same thing as you would compete for a share of 700,000 prize money in just this event, in just those 3 days, right? So it is a huge difference. Avatar is coming in with the 3-star. That would be through. Fail, and they're out. And he is coming in with the Skelly Donut, one of the hardest strategies to do. Wow.
Yeah, this is one that, I mean, you have to be nerves of steel, and he is stone cold, stone face, but he's not gotten the Inferno. Oh, Itsu. This is gonna hurt. This attack. Not taking down the multi in the core. He's got one more Skelly. He's got another invisibility spell here as well.
I'm not sure what was going on there. I was just like incredibly confused because for all of the viewers out there, if you don't know, this strategy, if you don't have like an incredible control over your hands, like your hands are shaking at this point, and if you misplace one invisibility spell, only one tile, your attack is done because everything is relying on that. So I'm not 100% sure, but we keep going with that Queen diving for the Town Hall. But this core Inferno Tower staying alive. Let's see if that was played or not. But the King is diving towards the top side. I think it's supposed to take down the Scatter or the Multi-Inferno Tower, at least tries to get towards that.
Yeah, this multi could do in the lava. We do have the Stone Slammer, though, that could help quite a bit. Queen has secure taking down the Town Hall. Royal Champion needs to get the Scatter Shot compartment down, get the Expo down, and really try and get that push. With the extra invisibility spell, we could potentially get that additional value out of her.
There's the Royal ability exactly bouncing towards that scatter, which was so needed. There's another Headhunter coming in to take down the Royal Champion on defense, but I don't really see that's going to work. The Multi-Point Tower is giving her quite a challenge, and there's another Lado coming in with that Slammer, with those runes on the far right side. The Eagles first on the menu, but the Royal Champion is still staying alive on this top side. Not only the Multi-Point Tower, but the Royal Champion as well, staying alive. The Lado's coming in from the bottom side, and there's so much space left.
And that means that we won't have the Stone Slammer coming in, absorbing the traps in the core of the base. It at least is holding the resistance from the Air Sweeper. You know, we've seen so many beautiful recoveries, and look at all these loons sailing through, hanging on to the Warden ability, so he can have a fighting chance left. With this invisibility spell, there is a lot of opportunity.
It's really depending now on those traps. I mean, there are so many loons, but they're all grouped up together. Red bombs behind the Town Hall, any red bombs inside this core, and this could be a game changer for Alternate. But obviously we have to wait to see if they're going to make it. The loop power itself should be enough, but at the same time, going against the Sweeper, which is time problematic, and the red bombs are coming up, the first one bombs are there, there's the invisibility spell, which means the Inferno Tower is having a couple of seconds. Another red bomb is coming up, the Multi-Inferno Tower has to go down, otherwise this is not going to 3-star. He's saving 1 minute, the Multi-Inferno Tower is going down, and this is 5 seconds left. The Elixir Gold Storage is going down, and this means Betzinker is knocking out Alternate. Alternate is the first team to get knocked out of this competition. No one predicted that, and I know that your prediction just failed because if someone predicted that, I mean, hats off to you, but I don't think so.
That is incredible. Again, you know, we've seen these beautiful recoveries. We keep saying it. Avatar, just stone cold, stone face. Wait. We actually see a smile coming in from Avatar, knowing that he secured their spot going into tomorrow's matches.
Wow. That's not everything I can say right now. Avatar smiling. Second, Alternate getting knocked out. But we should have one more attack, obviously, from Alternate. Let's see what they can show us. I mean, they can all go all out, do everything they want. I don't think they're going to change their plan because it was a little bit close on time. But still, they're going in. Vale, the MVP from the last World Championship, trying to show off again why he is still one of the best players with his team. Queen George Dragon Rider it is.
Vale was the MVP of last year's World Champions. Obviously, this will no longer be the opportunity for them. So we do have the Queen working her way along, and I do feel like ATN wants to finish off here with a solid finish.
They won, but the Queen is having a lot of firepower on her, keeping her ability for now, going against the Sweeper, and this is keep pushing her inside. There's the Lock Launcher. The Lock Launcher is supposed to push it towards the Town Hall to take that out, and the Locks itself should be able to take down the Inferno Tower at the same time, though. Let me take a look at that defense. That is dead.
Yeah, you know, this is an attack strategy that I actually don't like seeing as a final attack, because more often than not, a Queen Charge Log Launcher, Lalo, can wind up in this situation. More times often, it happens because the healers get targeted by traps, which is why we often see healers coming out of that Stone Slammer, or the Log Launcher, but he brings in the Ice Golems to try and help out, but the Queen is walking into... It's not going to matter, but this...
Things are really not looking good today for Alternate. It's really going down quickly. He has still the King, which he can still place to secure the second star, but at this point it's all about, like, he can just take it, he can just take the risk, right? Like, he can do whatever he wants at this point. That is coming in as well to make sure that he can combine them with that Ward ability to take down the Band and Royal Champion. There's the Ward ability, perfect timing right now. And the Queen somehow ended up in the core. I mean, this is a surprise right there. And now we have that King. The King's supposed to take down this Town Hall. Ability not there anymore. He has one more rage, which he's going to use really aggressively. So the healers are not in that rage, not really in that rage yet.
Yeah, drops an invisibility spell. just to get the Royal Champion what she needs to take down the Town Hall. That Royal Champion actually really saved the Queen coming in to help take down the Warden Tower, which does pack a nasty punch. With the King ability left over, Val's actually able to secure the 3-star with that going belly up. And I know he's not going to have that victory celebration that he was hoping for, because at the end of the day, Badzinger came in with the victory.
Yeah, you can see his emotion on his face. This is not what they expected, this is not what we expected. Obviously, we knew they are one of the best teams, but I think the biggest surprise, just like they received on defense 15 and 14 stars, and congrats to Badzinger. This was just incredible. The players showing up when it matters. We were talking about them as being the pressure machines because they were the only team qualifying from the lower bracket. They exactly knew how the pressure would touch them or get them affected.
Yeah, we talked about Aphelion being that team to watch, but Badzinger has just taken down the reigning world champions in this claw-tooth nail matchup. And you can see the disappointment from ATM, the reigning world champions. Yeah, this one stings badly. They were not expecting to wind up in the lower bracket, and equally, I gotta imagine they must have underestimated Badzinger's defenses slightly.
I mean, I don't know. I really think in the current meta, obviously you don't want. I mean, it's hard to say. I feel like the biggest problem for Alternate, even though I would have never expected to say this, was their defense. I mean, 15 and 14 stars against them. This is not what we're used to. We know Alternate are incredibly good on offense, but at the same time, they did not really show up today, and this is really causing them huge problems. And I would have never expected to see that as well. Badzinger, everyone 3-starring, but Rikiris, the star player for the team, getting carried just to make sure that, he can show up maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge turnaround in many different ways than what we expected, but nonetheless, leaving us with a final exciting, this was an amazing day, and it only means we're going to have some incredible action to come in the next 2 days as well.
One thing which I feel like really exciting about is you can't predict anything. I mean, I was going into the tournament like, come on, the first 4 matches are so easy to predict. I got at least 1 out of 4 right, okay? I got 1 out of 4 right. And yeah, that was a really surprising thing, really cool thing. But now let's go to the Telestrator and let's take a deeper look at this match.
Thank you so much, Itsu. It's time to break down one of the Super Bowler attacks coming in from ND of Badzinger, which was absolutely incredible. So let's see, let's go ahead and play and look at the value that he's going to get. So using the Warden to grab the first compartment where this scatter shot is, which is going to be the left side. The big thing with these Super Bowlers you really want to keep is getting them funneled in. So here comes a Dragon Rider blimp to take out the top side, while the Warden is walking on the left. That's important. If you're doing a Warden walk, make sure that you have the Warden down first to help set that time. Otherwise, you will time fail if you do that indeed. So with that Warden coming over here, he's going to be able to help clear that, and he wants to then push his Queen to go for the Town Hall. So we can go and speed this up a little bit so we can see the Super Bowlers in action here. So once this Warden uses, you could potentially use a Rage spell as well in a compartment that is where the Queen is and all this value. And here goes his, and then his Queen will come down here and path her all the way to this Town Hall. If he's able to do that, you notice that scatter shot being down, then here we go with the Super Bowlers. And what? He does not have to go to this top side because that Battle Blimp took it down. So we continue this pathing towards the back end of the base. If the Queen is going to be responsible for down here, you can see the pathing of the red right through the middle for the Super Bowlers. What is a funnel? The left and the right side is set so these Super Bowlers go straight on in, and then you see the Royal Champion coming in to help grab some of the buildings over on the outside as the Super Bowlers wouldn't go reach for it. They take the jump spell, and it gives them access to the back side, which would be back there, which was absolutely incredible. ND coming away with the 3-star for Badzinger, and they eliminated the defending world champions alternate attacks, which means we're going to be crowning a new champion in 2021 here. So as that attack finished, you can see it played out, and the Super Bowlers were able to push their way through, and they were able to get another triple with the Super Bowlers, showing their strength as well. But now we can go take a look at a defense that came in from Dima. And Dima definitely wants to provide a shout out to Mark, who helped provide and make this base right here, which helped defend alternate attacks. And so the big things you want to notice, we have the town hall here. Typically, that is where you tend to put your tornado traps, things like that. But Mask hit this base with dragons, right? Dragons made their way through to the core, but you notice we have a gold storage and the clan castle right in the middle. And what happens when you send dragons? You really want to try to put storages like that into the middle of the base so it stalls them up and slows them down. So this would be a great place to put seeking air mines, things like this. There's a sweeper that is also pointing in that direction to help push the dragons away, which helped stop Mask from getting the 3-star, and again helped Bazinger advance and eliminate alternate attacks. You can see right there that multi-target indeed did stay up right there. But we have time now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some game-changing moments. Let's go ahead and invite Judo back here. What an incredible day so far. No one would have ever guessed what we just witnessed. Alternate attacks, the defending world champions getting eliminated.
If you could have predicted a team to be eliminated, nobody would have predicted that alternate would be that team. It just shows the caliber that we have in the tournament and blows it wide open moving into day 2 and 3.
Absolutely. So we're going to be crowning a new world champion in 2021. I mean, Queen Walkers, they are excited. They were the runners-up. They came in second place. They lost to alternate attacks, and you know they are going to be ready to go. But we saw 2 perfect wars, which was Tribe Gaming and Affiliate, and both those teams came from the last chance qualifier shootout.
Absolutely incredible scenes. I think we should take a little bit of a look at the matches we will have tomorrow from the upper bracket. We do have one match from the lower bracket, but JX Tiger will be facing Tribe Gaming, which is a huge matchup given that Bazinger, who JX Tiger beat, did go on to beat alternate attacks. And then, as you mentioned, Queen Walkers facing off against Aphelion Esports. The Asian teams will know each other very well, so that is going to be an interesting matchup.
Absolutely. It's going to be the question. Who's going to be favored in these matches with the 2 teams getting the perfect wars? Tribe and Aphelion could meet each other in the next round as well. But there's so much competition, and today just proves that you cannot predict what's going to happen. All you have to do is make it to the World Finals, and you have a chance at winning the Grand Champion and being crowned World Champion of Clash of Clans, and just every single team has the opportunity to do it here.
Absolutely. Even if you don't win one of the qualifiers, you can get in via the last chance qualifier. Get yourself to this point, but I think we should go ahead and have a player interview over with Woody.
One tribe, one mission, and one man at the top of the game. A noble revolutionary who sent the world champions to the chopping block, and they are now eliminated. Eve Maxey, how are you feeling?
Hello, I hope the video is working right now. I don't have to that but yeah, apart from that, if you can hear me fine, we are very happy to have this to the second day. But yeah, at the same time, right now I feel quite sad that Alternate got knocked out. And yeah, I would have loved to face them again at some later point in the tournament.
Well, you scored an epic victory against them. Congratulations. Despite having qualified in the last chance qualifier and being one of the teams that had the least amount of time to prepare, you still brought an incredibly interesting attack strategy, putting super minions into your battle blimp. Where did you get that idea from?
Well, it was a strategy that had been used earlier. Super Minions were aimed, but they hadn't been used for a long time, and it was actually Exquisite who came up with the idea to try it out again and see if it would still be viable. And yeah, we were very happy that he thought it was good and that we could use it 2 times today in a very successful manner. And yeah, just it's a crazy first day. Crazy for us to have scored the perfect war, to have won against the reigning world champions. And we're very happy about that, obviously. But still also see that that they got knocked out now. And yeah, I just I'm lacking words for that. Like I didn't see that coming. And yeah, it's quite sad. But I mean, for us, it's great that we have concluded the first day with a very strong victory, and we will try to put everything in for the next days, so we can go all the way and get to the finals.
Well, as you mentioned, there have been a lot of ups and downs for your team in qualifying here. What do you expect to take place tomorrow? How will you prepare for the upper bracket?
Well, I won't say too much about how we are going to prepare. I know that our opponents are watching, but we will definitely try to keep the offense level as high as today. We know that if we score a perfect war, there's a very slight chance only to lose, and that is on time if the other team scores a perfect war as well. So if you can keep that level, then we feel very confident. But at the same time, of course, we will take a look at our bases. See if we want to do some changes or not. We have prepared for all opponents that we could possibly face in this World Championship. Of course, the main preparation was for attacks, and we only could hold them back once, which shows how incredibly strong they are on offense. And I think they showed that. It was, I mean, they had like only 3 fails in 10 attacks, and all of those were close and still got knocked out. This just showed the level here, and we can keep the level we showed today. We have a chance to win this competition for a bit long.
Thank you, Yves Maxi. Good luck to you tomorrow. Until then, we're going to send it back to the main stage where we've got Judo Sloth and Carbon Fin to finish us off.
Thank you, Woody. It is always fantastic to get the insights of the players. What did you make of that, Carbon? Interesting to hear a little bit about the cloned Super Minions.
Absolutely. That was a question I was wondering. Why bringing the cloned Super Minions back? Well, we learned right there Exosist was the driver force behind that. We saw it before, but we haven't really seen it as the meta. But they showed it off and really made me surprised. Alternate attacks there, Judo.
They certainly did, and I wonder what other tricks they will have up their sleeve, because Tribe always seem to bring some new attacks like that. We've seen some fantastic performances by all of the teams today, though. Upsets, huge wars. It is going to be mind-blowing tomorrow. I want to thank all of you for watching, all of the players, my fellow casters, and obviously Supercell and the production team behind the scenes to make this possible. If you think day 1 was exciting, wait for day 2. You do not want to miss it. Tomorrow at 5 a.m. UTC. We will see you there.
Oh, baby. Ready?